let's get started.
Mike the camel works with Thermaltake, builds them all, big or small, doesn't matter what it takes. Let's have waffles till the world stops turning. Mike, Mike, the camel. I've been waiting since 6 o'clock this morning. Everybody loves hump day. I've waited all week and now it's finally coming. I'm not even gonna say I'm back on a Wednesday. It's a hump day on a Wednesday. It's a hump day. Starting again on a Wednesday. Yeah, on a Wednesday. Baby, on a Wednesday. Yeah, on a Wednesday. Baby, on a Wednesday.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Collingham just resubbed for 5 months. Therma20 waffles, Therma20 waffles, Therma20 waffles, Therma20 waffles.
Hump day on a Wednesday. It's a hump day. Woo! Starting again on a Wednesday. Hump day. Yeah, on a Wednesday. Hump day. Baby. On a Wednesday. Hump day. Yeah, on a Wednesday. Hump day. On a Wednesday. Hump day. On a Wednesday.
It's waffle time, everybody. Exclamation mark waffle for your chance to win. Shout outs to K Cool and Am coming in with that tier 1 for 5 months. Thank you so much, my friend. Get in on that waffle. Come hungry, leave with a waffle, baby. Let's go. Good luck to everybody. Get in on it. We'll be starting soon.
Moving PCs, it's a tech paradise. Day 2, we're streaming day and night. Camels in the spotlight, shining with glee. Spreading good vibes, come vibe with me.
What up, everybody? Welcome to another wonderful Wednesday. Hope everybody's doing good. Oh, man. Week's already halfway there, guys. We're close. We're close to that weekend, baby. We're close to that weekend. Is it crazy that it's already February? How is it already February? Gosh, it's like I blinked and I was at CES in Vegas, like beginning of last month. Time's a flying. But it's Wednesday. It's good to see you guys. How's everybody? How's the fam? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Some fresh coolant to split up my week, man. What's up, Smoke? Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh man. Don't want to waffle too early. No preemptive waffling. Yep. We got to get in when it's right, with the right time. But it is the right time now. You can waffle away. Thirsty. I am. Oh yeah. Look at all those waffles already. Let's go, baby. Good luck to you guys. We'll be having our weekly giveaways. We always do here on the show. Later on today. Oh, I forgot to start the waffle timer again. I swear I'm terrible at this.
Anybody?
Sure.
Julie, hey, guess
It's
what
close.
day it is?
It's close enough.
Oh, come on. I
This
know
is
you
like a
can hear me.
guideline.
Mike.
Like a
What day is
guideline.
it, Mike?
I forgot again now. Oh my God.
Daniel just resubbed for 25 months.
BB McDaniel coming in. Appreciate that tier 1 man. 25 months, dog. Thank you so much, dude. Hell yeah. Thank you, bro. Get in on those waffles, baby. Get in on those waffles, man. Some good stuff. All right. So today we are on our new mission to take in the next view. Hear from us at Thermaltake. We got the View 370 in the studio today. We talked about it last week, showing all the ins and outs of the case as far as what it has to offer. And today we're going to be going forward with a nice little guide to show you, fun little tips and tricks on how to build in the View 370, show you some of its capabilities, fitment options. I got large graphic cards. I got motherboards with backwards connectors, to cover all the different bases as far as, man, the different ways you could build a system today, right? I mean, there's some common things, but then there's some other things that make it different, so we'll be breaking that all down today as we kick off our PC build in the new View 370. And have some fun, have some waffles, sit back and relax. Had a craving. Straight for the door. Oh. Good to see you guys, though. Hope everybody's doing good.
I'm the Waffler, golden crispy. Bad guys are different.
I love that one. Oh my God, I love that one so much, dude. Waffle man. Oh, let's switch it up. Let's switch on over here. We got the 370 today in the studio. Good little mid-tower case. It's got some cool little views to it. We got a variety of mid-towers. They got some different looks and stuff like that. So hopefully one of them hits for you if it's, something that you're looking into refresh and everything. I mean, my gosh, we've been hearing all of the unfortunate discussions about GPU prices, RAM prices. There's videos everywhere. And then, I'm seeing even more news today. Oh, it's going up another 150%, man. Really? You really gonna say that stuff, man? Come on, dude. 150% more? Hey, any updates on the View 390 Future Dusk being released in the US? I haven't heard about the 390 in Future Dusk. As far as new colors or more colors coming, it was something we were definitely talking about, but I haven't seen the purple version of this, coming across, at least coming over for stock in the US. I'll try to, keep you guys posted if new stuff comes in. We don't necessarily take in every color. Kind of depends on the case, you know what I mean? I think we do have a couple of them up already. Oh, where'd my thing? There it goes. Let's take a peeky. Real quick, right? Because I think, for 390, we've only, because we did the View 380 XL in purple, but that came later, right? That came down the road, separate from the initial 380 launch with those other 4 colors, right? So with the 390, we've done black and white. We've showed off a variety of colors, but I'm not sure if we're going to bring it in. I'm not really sure right now if we're going to bring it in. I think a lot of it reflects on how well the SKU does itself, you know what I mean? But as far as more colors, I mean, it could come. I'm not going to say it's not possible, but I haven't heard anything about as far as it, like, you know, being around the corner. Like, I haven't seen PO stuff, you know, shipping data yet just on that to give you something, you know what I mean? So I can give you that at least to let you know. So, but hey, thanks for the feedback on it too. Cause dude, I would, that case would be sick in purple. I mean, we did it in yellow. We had some colored versions at Computex, right? Just got to remember, it's not a guarantee that we'll do every single color we show, at least globally, right? But we'll see what happens. See what happens. That case, as well as like some others, you know, like, I mean, for the longest time, I wanted a matcha 380. And, you know, we did it in the other colors, right? So the other colors were pretty good, but I really wanted the matcha one, right? But the matcha one didn't come until we did the wood series with the 380. So I got the matcha that I wanted. It just came with wood grain. It just came with a little bit of wood grain. Hey, and same too.
Anybody?
For
Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come
last
on, I know you
PC
can hear
winner.
me. Mike,
Hope they got
Mike.
they're
What day is it,
chilling, you
Mike?
know, sitting back cozy with the fire.
Beantown TV just
Probably
resubbed
still a little
for
chilly out there, you know what I mean?
Wubba
Wubba
lubba dub
dub.
Mike.
Let's go, dude. Thank you, Beantown. Appreciate that 21 months, my friend. Wubba lubba dub dub. Oh, man. Love it. Good stuff. What is Thermaltake's most popular case? God, I'd probably say, like, right now, it's probably still like Tower 600. I think the Tower 600 being as unique as it is, and the amount of colors that particular case came in, I think the View 600 is probably one of our most popular cases. I mean, it's a bigger case, right? You know, when you're looking at like kind of ATX form factor, so it's not like I want to, you know, I mean, I think the travel cases have done well too, like the TR100s and everything, but it's like mini ITX, so it's a little bit different of an angle with it too. I mean, I think the 300 and the 250, as far as the micro versions of the tower, did good. But when the 600 came out, it really kind of dominated, if it makes sense, right? It's ATX. So it's kind of like the more popular size, you know what I mean? So a lot of that kind of goes into not just necessarily the case design itself, but like the fitment options as far as what's popular out in the market, right? Like mini ITX is a cool little motherboard, but it's expensive and a little bit difficult to find sometimes. Micro's kind of hit or miss, right? Like I used to say micro boards were really difficult to find. Like they just weren't making micro boards. They were like doing like mini ITX and ATX and, you know, of course, EATX and all that. But like I hadn't really seen like a dry spell, you know, but it seems like micro has been making a comeback over the last few years and becoming more of like a standardized form factor. But, you know, I guess it all just really kind of depends on what they want to do, you know, with popularity with it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that'd probably be where that's at with that. Yeah. Yeah, I've been waiting on, yeah, and then going back to you, say, I've been debating on waiting if it drops or going with the snow version. Yeah, I can see that the snow version's pretty cool. I think you dig the snow version a lot for that. I like this one a lot more because it has the perforated front panel. I big fan of that. And you can put some big fans in there too, you know, up to 200 mil. But I mean, dude, still just doing like a triple 140 setup is really clean, you know, with something like this, but definitely a different case to look at. And that's, I think, one of the fun parts about all the different varieties, you know, of options and sizes and colors, you know, and everything that we offer here. You know what I mean? It's definitely difficult to make a new box, but we try, and, you know, some things go better than others. Definitely a big fan of the Tower series. Always have been since Tower 900, man. I mean, it's kind of like I feel like a Tower 900 remake is something that should be considered, you know. But I just, if we made like a new tower that was comparable to that monster mini fridge of like that Tower 900, dude, it'd have to hit all the right spots for me. I mean, I built a Donkey Kong build in that. It was a lot of fun. I'd love to do like another Donkey Kong build in there, or do something different, you know, just like a remastered version or something. I think that'd be cool. But we'll have to wait and see what would happen. I don't know if we do smaller ones though, for sure. I think we covered all the bases when it comes to smaller versions of the tower case. View's always had a good spot in my heart too. I like a lot of the View cases. You know, the fish tanks, you know what I mean? I'm running a View 380 XL at home right now, and I'm having a good time with it. I like the case, good fitment. You know, it does what I need it to do. You know what I mean? So, and I got it in a new color. I think the one thing for me, dude, I was running just like black and white cases, like even still for like a while. And one of my first colored case was matcha. So definitely gonna say that. So been having fun with that. Tower 300 or bust. Dude, Tower 300 is good too, man. I love the Tower 300. I thought the size on the 300 was perfect as far as making that pill shape. I thought it was right. Like the 600, man. Like I had like some concerns with the thickness. You know, it's a little wide there. You know what I mean? But you got to make things work with what's out there, right? You know, ATX board. I mean, it's ATX board. You got to fit around that, right? So, and you kind of have to have some cooling too. And I think that's another reason why I like the 600 a lot as well, is just so many fans. But I mean, like, dude, this is what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different colors in the 600. Yeah, there's a couple. I think this one's, oh no, because this is a 250. This is a 250. Where's the 300 at? Hold on, I want to look. I want to look really quick. But dude, is it crazy? It's been out for a while now. It's been a couple years. I mean, bro. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's actually one more color right now with the 600 than the 300. Because I think the 300 had a ton of color options. I mean, it still does. I mean, but it's got some different things, right? Like this one, like I was a really big fan of this one. The limestone was a really cool color with that gray slate kind of color. Then you had like a white trim with it. I mean, it was just, it gave me like, dude, it gave me Nintendo vibes, man. Like it made me feel like that old NES piece, the old NES console that I had. And I was just like, man, if I could just get some like two like large red fans to look like buttons in there, you know what I mean? Like right on the AIO, you know? Just make those like red. I mean, yeah, I'm a big NVIDIA I'm an NVIDIA fanboy, but AMD too. But at the same time, you know, and Nintendo has a special place in my heart back in the 80s. You know what I mean? Shout outs to the moms and the dads out there that hooked their kids up with that NES early. Yep, you did this. This is the result. Game addicted since the 80s, baby. Let's go. I think it's funny too, because like I've been talking with you know, you talk about games and just like
one might say it comes with OnlyFans.
That's right. You can oh, but like, dude, you know, they talking about the games from back in the day and how and you know, this is a shout out to moms everywhere out there too, you know, where like, you know, I know my mom used to tell me that, you know, it's gonna rot your brain, it's gonna blah blah blah. And you know, the funny thing now that I'm older is that when I look at the games today, there's so much more like participation and like easy mode, like fast track, than the brutalness of game over that a lot of us experienced. And it was funny because I read an article where they were talking about like how games from the 80s and 90s taught kids patience, because there was no endless lives. You had three lives on some of these games. And then there was a part where like, you know, you didn't get to continue. You started over. Like beginning level 1-1. You feel me, Super Mario's? Like, so it was just a really interesting thing I was reading about, like just how games back in the day taught kids patience and games today taught kids credit cards. I mean, I think we need harder games out there in the market. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the whole like game over thing. I think probably the closest thing that I could relate to that would be Elden Ring. You died. I mean, that's game over in a new way, right? And in the brutalness of that way that game was, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the pain. I enjoyed the stuff. And it was crazy, man. Game over was heartbreaking to see. Taught me how to deal with loss. Exactly. And now instead of game over, you get continue. You know what I mean? And I mean, I get it. There were certain games that made sense with that, certain games that didn't. Battletoads, oh my God. I never beat that game. I had that game. I remember playing that game. I remember just all the parts. Like, you know, if you could get past the surfing section, you felt accomplished. If you could get past the surfing section. But then the hard part was that you had no idea what was next because you barely made it past there anyways. Man, you knew the first level like the back of your hand, right? You knew that first level like the back of your hand, like easy mode, no problem. But then when you got to those certain like little milestones and everything, yeah, dude, I could feel that. But that accomplishment was so good, dude. Doom Nightmare mode. Well, okay. Yeah, if you want to punish yourself, Doom Nightmare mode, or just, you know, people that like to play on the hardest difficulty, you know what I mean? I thought it was good that they had stuff like that, you know? Same thing for like the people that just want easy mode too. Like, I want the story, not like worrying about getting one tapped, click, and then you have to start over, you know? So, and I think stuff's adapt a lot to it, but it's pretty crazy, right? It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy stuff. But yeah, I'm going to go on just talking about gaming and my life and experiences with gaming. We got our weekly waffle already going on. Get in on it. Exclamation mark waffle for your chance to win. We got waffle raffles coming up here in a little over an hour if you'd like to get on it. But, you know, keep check of that time and everything, as we do ask that you are present for the win. No re-rolls today, guys. No re-rolls today. All right, let's get it going, man. Battletoads co-op was especially hard. Oh, because you had to wait for the other player. I mean, I remember this. I remember that. You know, there's another good example of Battletoads co-op, Cyber, was Double Dragon. You know, when you were playing Double Dragon with your boy, and you're on like one side and he's over here, and then you'd get stuck. And you're like, bro, don't go so far ahead, man. I gotta catch up. Oh, weren't those the days, man? Those were the days, bro. Battletoads soundtrack, dude, it was a banger for sure. The music back then was so good. The music back then was so good, and it's like MIDI kind of, like, you know what I mean? It's so interesting, but there was depth to it though, man. You know what I mean? There was some good depth to that. Good stuff though. Happy Wednesday. Also, don't get too close. Yep. Battletoads versus Double Dragon. I remember that game. Never got to play it though. It's like one of those weird spin-off ones, you know? Never got to play that one though. A lot of fun stuff. I'd love to relive more of that, like today, like emulation-wise and everything. But it's just, I was into it for a little bit, then I got out. I still have some ROMs, you know what I mean, that I've just had for, gosh, I don't know, 20 plus years now. But like, dude, it's just cool. Good stuff to kind of look back on and everything, you know what I mean? Like you had games like, what was it? Like you had games like Metroid. Like Metroid had a code, right? But then with the code, you would keep what you retained, but you'd always start at the beginning. I thought that was one of the most interesting things, was like those games that had like a code. And let me tell you about codes with old school Metroid. I mean, the code was ginormous. Took you 15 minutes to type it in. It was like what? Like 4 rows of letters, numbers, like it was wild, right? But it would be interesting because it's like you would start at the beginning where the game originally starts every time. You have to go to wherever you were, you know what I mean? But then, like, you know, you got like stuff like emulation, and you could literally jump and pause where you jumped, save, and then come back weeks later coming out of your jump. It's pretty interesting how a lot of that stuff's set up like that, you know what I mean? Those would have been some cool things back in the day, but again, like I said, I think it taught us a lot of patience back then, you know, as far as game wise goes, you know? But dude, you were entering the Matrix. It was wild, dude. Oh, I'm glad you guys we can talk about all the fun that was back then. No DLCs. You just game. There's no updates. It was done. It was done day one, right? What's happened to the gaming market community out there, right? Like games, like you have no way to update this. So it has to be good out of the box, right? Like, can we get back to that? Can we get back to stuff like that where it's like, I don't need to worry about like I preload the game, you know, like 4 days before it launches. And then when the game comes out, there's a 2 gig update. And you're sitting there going, oh, and then there's a queue. We've all been there with those queues, huh? Sitting there waiting to play a game. Then something happens and you get reset or something. Oh my gosh, the fun, dude. I'm happy to share the nostalgia with you of the good old days. Hell yeah, man. That's what Wednesdays are all about, reminiscing of all the fun stuff we have throughout all of our weeks that we've been here. You know what I mean? It's crazy to think about. Crazy to think about. And think about the kids that don't know about that stuff, that didn't experience like that era of like coming in and all the technology they have. Like, I mean, I look at my girls and see all the tech that they have in their hands so early, and thinking about when I first really kind of got into this and how lucky I was to have what I had. But like, I mean, this was like end of high school, man. Like these things were like untouchable, very expensive too. So, you know what I mean? But like, yep, you get the itch, man. You get the itch. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if your NES has to have an antenna to update, dude. Could you imagine if it had something like that? That'd be wild. I still have my original NES that my parents bought me. I have my Power Glove. I have my Zapper from Duck Hunt. So I have a couple of things. I mean, I don't have it like in a special case. It's not like some limited edition. It's just memories. You know what I mean? It's good stuff. I'll have that forever. And then maybe my grandkids will be like, Dad, what's this? And I'll be like, dude, go watch this movie called The Wizard and you'll understand. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? All right. Trading my Pokemon cards for my first Game Boy. Oh, yeah, I can understand that. I remember being out. I did my own like yard sale. And this was, I think, gosh, I'm trying to remember. I think this was Super Nintendo.
Guess what day it
I had
is? Guess
Super
what
Nintendo,
day
and
it
I
is?
had a good amount of games.
Anybody?
You know, because
Julie,
been
hey,
out for
guess
a
what
while,
day
right?
It is?
Scissor
Come
Man
on, I know you can
51.
hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Thanks, baby. Appreciate the 8 months.
51 just resubbed for 8 months. Holy, almost baby time, Mike. Haha, Therma 20 waffles, Therma 20 waffles.
Good luck, my friend. Good luck. Hope that's all good. Mumu coming in with the Hundy on a 100 stream streak. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. As well as Kilobyte coming in with the 3 stream streak. Let's go. Let's go. Holy, almost baby time. Yeah. Oh, gosh. But good luck, man. Fingers and toes, baby. Fingers and toes. You know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh. What was I talking about? Oh, it came in late. What model is this case? This is the new View 370. This is our latest case here from Thermaltake. Mid-tower case. We're going to be doing a build in it here today. Hopefully finish it up next week. We did a nice little overview of like just the case itself too last Wednesday too. So the VOD is up for that if you'd like to check it out. But yeah, brand new case. Oh, you know what? Dude, you know what I forgot to do? You know what I forgot? I forgot to talk about it. The website. It's there. We started talking about tower and all this other stuff. So yeah, website is now up. View 370 TG AirGB mid-tower case. We're gonna be talking about all the features and everything tied into this as far as what you can do. $100. $100, $99.99. You can purchase it right now off of our website. I believe. You know what? I honestly, let's see. Is it on Amazon yet? It might not be just yet. Might not be just yet. Let me see here. Let's pop this back over here. All right. Oh, nope, it's up. Okay, it's up. There we go. Only 9 left in stock. Order soon. Yeah, $100, man. 2 different colors with the View 370 coming in, both the Snow Edition as well as, yeah, slap that lizard. Add to cart, add to cart, add to cart. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Come on, please. Please buy it, please. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff about the case. a lot of it's broken down on the website as far as talking about, you know, the main features of the case as far as the cooling goes, the backwards compatibility with the motherboard option, so you can go either way with that. You know, just the same with going vertical with your gigantic graphics card. With this kind of a case, you can either look at this or you can look at this, depending on how you want to orient it in the case. Of course, riser cables do require the option to go vertical with it. And there's some, you know, give and takes there with that too, with the cooling options on the bottom. And you know, I'll try to break that down as we get further along in the build here on the case. But yeah, we're going to be building today in the new View 370. Basically a small version or a mid-tower version of the View 600 to kind of give you a pretty good example. I mean, it has a very similar layout to the 600, just not as 600, you know what I mean? Size-wise and everything, you know? But yeah, other than that, you know, we're gonna have some fun. Let's, cause I got bored. I got parts here and everything. We got to get started on this. But yeah, man, good times, you know what I mean?
White case equals easy to see spiders.
This is true. This is very true. Hopefully nothing happens today as far as spider attacks go. But yeah, we should be good. I looked for him for probably about 20-30 minutes. I looked under the desk. You know what I mean? I didn't look under the desk today, so there could always be surprises. So make sure you stay tuned. You never know what could happen here on Thermaltake Live. We've had earthquakes. We've had variety of things happen. You know, spider attacks aside and everything. Well, we didn't get attacked at least, so that was good. It was more of a visit. You know what I mean? He could be under that lazy. He could be. He could just be you know, all you see is his legs just kind of just trickling out. You know what I mean? Oof. This is why I'm in California and not Australia, my friends. Could you imagine what lies inside of a case in Australia? Oh God, kill him with fire. He was just checking it out too. Yeah, you know, Thermaltake Live. I wasn't washing the car today, but I was outside buffing some scratches out of my daughter's car. Well, nice for you. Hopefully the scratches weren't too bad and everything like that. Not too bad. Chippy's fine. He's perfectly fine. Dude, there's some crazy stuff out there. I mean, you know, I'm not really someone that's kind of scared with spiders. I mean, I kind of grew up around them, you know what I'm saying? I did a lot of campouts, you know, doing the Boy Scout stuff and everything. So, you know, they kind of became my friend. It was more things like bears and mountain lions and, you know, other stuff, you know what I mean? Like coyotes don't scare me, you know what I mean? If anything, I feel bad for the coyotes, you know what I mean? So, but I had a little adventure with that kind of stuff, you know? I wasn't just your standard OC type of kid, you know, growing up in a concrete jungle, you know what I mean? I got dirty. I got out there and I got dirty, and I appreciate all that we had with that too. That was just amazing time. All right, so panels are coming off. Wow, look at the white balance change there this is a white panel, everybody. Holy bright. All right, so accessories aside, like I said, we went through the case last week as far as like breaking down like how this comes off, how that comes off. So I'm gonna skip a little bit of that here today. But if you guys have questions, I mean, dude, that's why we're live. Feel free to ask. I'll try to make sure that I catch it, and we'll see what's going on at Thermaltake Live. Snakes. We used to take a bike pump and inflate them, float them down the creek. You get like 2 snakes and you could like go water skiing with them and everything. Dude, mountain lions make my spine tingle. Sounds. If you've ever been camping and had a bear sniff your tent at like 5 in the morning, that will let you know you're alive. Because I've been there, and it wasn't my fault. I wasn't the kid that had food in his tent. It was the guy next to me. But of course, my tent was next to his tent, right? Still made it. Still survived. Bears are no joke, man. Bears are no joke. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pull off the rest of the panels. Again, the View 600 and 300 have a similar type of glass mounting options. You got those 3 glass panes there in the front, and most of them are fairly toolless. They pop out. It's just with these ones, you just got to be careful. The top is got a little push clip, pops that out, but the bottom is just little, you know, it's got little tongs right there. You know, they'll line those bad boys up. So you don't want to try to pop it out. Can't stress that enough. Just make sure you're careful with your glass. I mean, it's tempered. It's good stuff, but you know what I mean? Things can happen. I'm down for the thickness. What is the open space by the exhaust fan? Maybe are we open space like right here? IO shield? Like this could be IO shield if that's what you're referring to as far as this fan goes. There's also another little cutout over here too, but my waffle time thing is kind of blocking that. Same with my drink. But then there's another little cutout right down here as well, and that's for some nice adjustment. Like if you're gonna put AIO with fans over here, you got the thickness. Are you down for the thickness? But then you can also put the AIO on top too. So, and that's what we're gonna be talking about today as far as you know, which way should we go with it? I mean, I usually always opt for the top when it comes to like AIO mounting, but I do like little side mountage options too. I think a lot of it is kind of looking at the tubes, seeing how it's going to be configured. I mean, I have a large AIO cooler because we are going to be throwing the Mine Cube in there, so that big 4-screen cube, man, does
what day it is.
take up a good amount of space, you know what I mean?
Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Bert Beezer!
Burra Beezer just resubbed for 30 months.
Appreciate the 30, my friend. Thank you.
ThermalMike,
Hell yeah.
ThermalMike.
Oh. But yeah, man. You guys have questions or anything out throughout the process? Let me know. Let me know. This or something else. You know, it's all good. I'm an open book. Try to be. Here to help. You know, that's why we're here. So I'm probably going to pull the fans out because I had some other fans that I wanted to throw in here. But you will get these fans because I'm waiting on more of these as far as because this is our new 3-in-1 fan. I love the fact that it's got 4 screws to it. But again, you know, you're going to get 4 fans, or I guess in a way you kind of count them as 2 because this is one piece with 3 fans. So, you know, I don't think we necessarily are going to start labeling it that it comes with 2 fans, but technically 4, because it is a fan, not a frame, right? We're talking about the fans, not only frames, right? Maybe that could be like a different website, only frames. But then I'm trying to think to myself, is there some gamer thing that was called like something frames? I remember something like that. But yeah, I mean, dude, as you can see, pretty easy to break it down. I mean, all the panels and everything, completely toolless. I'm a big fan of that. But we do need to take some things apart that should have screws. So let me get a driver. $200 mil, how many? I mean, buddy, you could mod the 200, you know what, out of this bad boy if you'd like to. But sadly, not wide enough for that. The only choice I think we got right now, besides CTE cases, is the new 390. 390 was basically our, I guess you would say, latest case that sports 200 mil fans. We, you know, it's just something I don't see too much out in the market, man. I mean, I know you guys. I know you love your 200s. I got nothing wrong with it. It's just, I'm really surprised 200 hasn't changed over the years. I mean, dude, 120, 140s have changed a lot, right? Like, you look at like 120, 140 fans from 5 years ago, right? 1,500 RPMs at best. You know what I mean? Like going into like the 2K and now like 2,500. I mean, I've been seeing someone pushing 3,000 now, but then the problem is those 3,000 fans, they got to be thicker. You know what I mean? Because we've done testing on the stream, right? If you guys remember, some of you guys that have been here, you know, 30 months and plus, we've done fan testing stuff where we did testing. We've done pump testing We've done different rad cooling testing stuff with like custom cooling and everything. But I do remember the fan ramperage. 1,500 to 2,000 is a big difference. Makes a nice little improvement, but we really saw some degradation from 2,000 to 2,500. Really didn't matter too much. And this isn't like an open frame. Like I think I did this in like a P3, P6 or something like that. So had nothing to do with the case form factor. I mean, it's literally like setting it on a bench. I mean, open frame case, right? So it was just raw cooling right there. Like what to do. So, it'd be interesting to kind of get back into that, but like 200 mil fans didn't like start getting a nice bump up on stuff like that. You know what I mean? I mean, think about it. Think about that bad boy spinning at 2,500 RPMs. Holy wowzers. But then that might be something cool. You might be like, yeah, hell yeah, I want that. And I get it, but it's just, I haven't seen it out there too much in the market. With that, because I think a lot of it has to do with just a case form factor, man. Like how many companies make a lot of cases that sport 200 mil fans? There's a reason, but hey, at least we got some here and there. We'll have more. Pretty sure it's not like dying out. We're not cutting it off or anything. You know what I'm saying? So, but I always think about it, and every time it comes up, I think of you guys. I think it's funny, and I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. And it's like, you know, for me with like 200 mil fans, it's custom cooling for me. Like distros, water blocks, rads, just pumps. Like it really kind of hit the ceiling with custom cooling. And then there's like, it's almost to the point where like GPU manufacturers were like, dude, we don't want you taking our card apart anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah, we put that, there's that sticker, right? That sticker right there that doesn't matter, but it's still there today in 2026, right? Oh, what is this? I can't do that? Are you kidding me? And it's everybody. Not trying to single out one manufacturer from the other. That damn sticker is there on everything. And it's like, it's a lie. It's a total lie. Can't do that. But you know what I mean? Not everybody watches all the tech videos like we do. Am I right? But then just thinking about like, you know, water blocking cards and everything, they've made great improvements with GPU blocks or GPU blocks with the GPU stock cooling. You know what I mean? Why is this like stuck right here? Come here. What are you doing? Oh, frustration-free cable management here in the View 370. No, that was kind of my fault. I tucked it in there, you know, from last week and stuff, so. I blame me. It's usually a good way to go. Okay, let's get my little collection going here so we don't lose stuff. So we don't lose things. Yeah, like I was saying last week, I'm really liking the idea here of the 3-in-1 fan options. Like, dude, I could see a 2200 like scenario like this for like the 390 be something cool. That would have been a great stock fan. Versus putting the 2200s in the back. I personally voted to say, hey, let's put 2200s in the front as far as the fans versus just 120s that are in the back there. But you know, you can only get so far. You know, you try. I try, guys. I try. Oh, we done with our playlist? Gosh, I need to make some more songs. What the hell? What the hell, man? All right, let's switch it up here. Let's go to anti-DMCA mode activated. Anti-DMCA mode activated. There we go. Let's see. Well, there we go. Oh, it's Wednesday. Kick back, relax. Enjoy a waffle or two with us. Exclamation mark a waffle for your chance. Waffle timer. Little around an hour, okay? It's there as a guideline. It's not exact time because again, I forgot. Sorry, my bad. Oh, here's that little cover plate there for this too. Hopefully, I answered your question. I didn't even look to see if that's what your question was. I'm a big fan too. I am a big fan too. All right, so preparing your case. This is the View 370. So one thing that might be a little different is that this case, you know, and I would say the newer change for us too, with some of the other cases, putting your IO options here on the front. So you get your power button right here. You got your HD audio, Type C, and 2 USB 3.0s, but it's in the front bottom. It's not necessarily on the top where a lot of us are used to having that cable going down like this. This is now, oh, hold on, the spider was grabbing the cables. But this now is coming from the bottom side, as you can see down here. And this is something where you're gonna be going reverse with this, where it's gonna be something where you're gonna kind of loop it up and over to plug all your stuff in. So a little bit different of a layout, kind of fun, but at the same time, I mean, you got a good amount of wiggle room. I mean, I can definitely see myself, you know, kind of getting the cables folded over there. I even have a little option here to like do like a zip tie if I wanted to, if I want to make this all nice and neat and pretty. But you know, we'll make sure that we got enough length to be able to get to where we got to go, because that's important. And then hopefully we'll clean some of those cables up. But yeah, really digging this. All white connectors, all white wires, no ketchup and mustard wiring there. And then, dude, the Type C is just flying. If you guys haven't gotten into, like, Type C saves me so much time now with just the transfer rate, especially for large stuff. Like, if you can understand, man, like what I'm doing these things, we got games and benchmarks and all the downloads and just throwing all that stuff on one drive, plugging it in, it goes so much quicker for me. Especially with the game stuff. I mean, yeah, downloading it's one thing, but sometimes it's a little bit easier just to import the game, especially for like Steam and stuff, and then do just like a little basic update versus like downloading the game, like downloading like a couple of games. You know what I mean? I only have so much time, man. I only have so much time. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mr. Blue coming in with a 7-stream streak. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. That's a long time. We only stream once a week, guys. That's a long freaking time. It's funny when I watch other streamers and I see people do this stuff and they're like, you know, in the hundreds because they stream 6 days a week, man. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. That's why I like this job so much, because this is my little break of the week for all the other stuff that I got to do, where I get to come on here with you, hang out, build something new. I'm going to start sounding like Dr. Seuss rhyming here and everything. I better stop it. Yeah, so a different little layout with this definitely caught my eye first. I was like, oh, you know, it's down there now. It's not up here where it's just, you know, you're normal hanging out like this, right? So a little bit different there with that. But plenty of room down here on the underside of you know, the case. I mean, power supply aside, there's still plenty of room down in there with that. But yeah, we got to kind of figure out what we're gonna do. Kind of look at some ideas as far as what matters to do first, second, and third versus third, first, and second. So we'll come back to those cables later. Now, other things too with this is that, like, if you are going to go with the optional screen here for the case is going to come with the replacement or the cutout. I think it's still in here. Ah, yes. So you're going to get this in the box. This, of course, will be on the case, but then you'll get this in the accessory box. And then basically that's just buying the 6-inch screen separately as far as like the standalone screen that we sell. And then that just slots into here. And then you can just go ahead and you can mount it. But one of the nice things about this too is that if you don't want to grab the screen right now, maybe it's something you want to kind of wait on later on, this is pretty easy as far as an upgrade goes once you purchase the screen. But then at the same time, you can more or less just have a real simple easy with this. I mean, this just comes right off, real simple with magnets. And I mean, running a cable makes it pretty easy, especially with the motherboard that we have, because we're going with backwards connector board. I have MSI's Project Zero over here. So, I mean, we're not even talking about like having to come in here to plug the cable in for that screen. It's literally going to be on a silver platter back here for you to plug it in and then run the cable right through. Couldn't be easier with a backwards connector compatible motherboard. Oh, let me take this off too. because I'll probably forget to put the back plate on, even though, oh yeah, I already have the back plate pre-installed because I thought ahead. I used my brain, but this is cool too, just to show that this does remove here from that back section. And then I do have options to mount HDD and SSDs here on the back, but it's also like just really cool to just have a little bit of extra space, kind of see some things. Who knows what could matter or not. But like I said, sometimes even I forget to put the back plate on, and just having that accessibility in the back is like, ah, cool, I don't take the board back out, you know? But with a lot of that being said though too, one of the things that you really kind of gotta determine that does help you, I would say for sure, like in the long run, is do you want to go a vertical with the graphics card? Now, your graphics card or GPU might not necessarily be this big of a chunky of a card. I mean, this is one of the biggest Asus cards that's out there. I think this is a 5080, but I mean, it's the same size as their 5070 Ti, same size as the 5090s. As far as, I mean, same as like I think the 4090s, these were all pretty much just this gigantic brick of a card. But showing you guys one of the nice features about this case is that you have a good amount of space here with even some of the larger cards, and this is not a full tower case. You know what I mean? So being able to install the card in this way, where I'm just kind of holding it right here, but you can see that I still have a good amount of wiggle room there on the end. But then you also have the option to mount your card basically vertically, because the whole entire back panel does rotate. And then we have a simple mounting mechanism for, where'd I put it? For, you know, just doing something simple like a riser cable like this. And then this is basically a 180 degree with your PCIe. This is 4.0. It's not 5.0, but I haven't seen too many issues going from like using 4 with a 5.0 card. I don't think you will either. But like stuff like 5.0 stuff, I would say you're going to start seeing more of that coming out this year. But oh gosh, I mean, if cards are going to go up 150%, we're not, I wish cards were only going up $150. And then back in the day, you'd be like, oh, no, don't say that. Now I'm like, yes, please. Only $150. It's crazy, right? But like a riser cable like this, give you the option to be able to mount the card vertically like that in the case, so you can kind of get a presentation like this, or the traditional way, plug directly into the motherboard. You know, depending on what you want to do. I think graphic card companies have done a pretty cool job with the looks of their coolers, integration with stuff like RGB, so you can sync it all up and everything, and just, you know, get that just like perfect RGB ecosystem, right? But yeah, still like the screen, nice optional accessory down the road. You want to do it later, no big. It's not too difficult to add it in after post initial installation. You know what I mean? Nothing too crazy. Nothing you can't handle. Reverse connector motherboards make so much sense. I recently got one myself. Yeah, and I think that, I mean, when you look at it, there's really no like, I mean, if it had like a benefit to performance, then I would definitely see it becoming more popular. But I still like that it wasn't like a one and done situation. You know, these companies, these brands are doing this more than once, and I hope they continue with it, because a lot of our cases have adapted to that. We support all 3 of the current motherboard manufacturers. It's almost kind of like creating an SOP or a standard with this, that anybody else kind of coming into play afterwards is going to more or less need to fall in line. Because I don't know too many others that are going to cut extra holes just for one person when 3 of them all fit in one. You know what I mean? But sometimes it might just mean you got to make something a little bit longer, a little bit wider. You know what I mean? I mean, these are case design things that we figure out, but we've definitely been doing this a lot. Almost every case since the birth of this backwards connector, or what I call universal ATX options, you have the ability to go either way. So it doesn't really matter. So just get a case that has that stuff, you know, and that kind of comes back to, I might not be able to upgrade my PC and get new components and everything, but a new motherboard might give me some better cooling options, maybe a new color per se, and just kind of give me a nice little refresh without breaking the bank too much. But I could definitely see the itch where, like, if you had like a black case and you know, you went with like a white case like the View 370, you might want to upgrade your cooling to get white fans, for example, and stuff like that. But you know, that might be a good thing. It might also be a good thing just to take everything apart and clean it all. You know, I guess it's spring. I don't know. It's like going to be almost 85 degrees here in California. It feels like we're still in summer a little bit. It's rained a little bit. At least, thank God, it's rained a little bit. But it definitely hasn't been getting too cold here. I know a lot of you guys have been experiencing a lot of weather, especially on the East Coast. So, you know, all thinking about you. I've been seeing like the news on it and stuff. It's pretty crazy. Hopefully it's not as crazy as they're trying to tell us here in California on what you guys are dealing with and everything. But, you know, hopefully a lot of that stuff's going by pretty good. I mean, dude, I've been seeing some gnarly snow scenarios with some people. So it's been pretty wild. The only downside is the limited selection, especially with overclocking, and there's no BTF riser extension. The BTF 12, adapter is impossible to get. Yeah, no, I've heard about that. As far as that specific one with Asus, right? Because you got to get the card that doesn't have the connector. And, you know, I thought I mean, it's Asus. I could see them doing that because they can, but I didn't see anybody else really kind of adapt to the, oh yeah, you don't need that. It's just going to go through there. You know, it's going to plug in back here, because I've seen those boards. I've seen those situations. I mean, you could tell me all day long that it's fine and it works and everything, but that's a little sketch for me, considering that you have, I mean, at least you have a good power supply, hopefully, that has at least 16 gauge wiring. But then understanding that you're not getting that raw wire going into the card, it's going into a PCB, and that power draw is going through traces, makes me a little skeptical on that. But you know, I don't have to test that part. That's the best part. It's pretty crazy. 8-foot snow pile. Wow. Dude, that's insane. That's insane to think about. And how much to dig yourself out of that? Like, I mean, I just don't understand. I'm from California. I just don't understand. You know, I love the snow. Big snowboarder, big fan of that, but not like that kind of snow. You know what I mean? But dude, it's pretty interesting storm that you guys have had going on over there. But like, wow, you know, be safe though. Be safe. Hope everybody's good. All right. Okay. So, with your motherboard, especially if you have a backwards connector board where all those nice, wonderful, sharp pins are on the back, you want to be a little cautious where you grab. You might hurt yourself a little bit, especially like up here or down here on the bottom, you know, because you have all those connectors now on this side of the board, not this side of the board. But boy, does it give a nice clean look here on this side. But if you are planning to go vertical with the graphics card, one thing to consider is that once the motherboard is mounted into the case, and I'll just kind of set it right here just to kind of hopefully not break it. Let me see if I can kind of hold it here with my finger. Here, I can hold it with my finger like that. So, but like having the motherboard installed there with the case, you do want to kind of decide on what you want to do here with the PCIe bracket. I guess I should have taken the screws out before putting the motherboard in. But just to kind of show you guys some clearance as far as, you know, maybe saving you some frustrations there, because that's what I like to do. Hopefully I can do this all one-handed, maybe blindfolded. But like, okay, so this bracket right here has 3 screws that hold it in. But as you can see, with the motherboard installed, it gets kind of stuck. It gets kind of stuck. And a lot of the reason for that, let me grab the board. Don't stab me. Don't stab me. But a lot of the reason for it is when you look at this bracket here. Let me actually bring this in. Next week we might get some rain. We are having an early spring. Dude, I saw that rain was coming. It's just it was like what, like 2 weeks away. And I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna be real, but we'll see. We definitely need it. We definitely need it. At least we're not in that situation, you know what I mean? All right, so yeah. Let me. Oh yeah, there's one more screw. There's not 3 screws, there's 4. No wonder it's stuck in there, but I was still trying to make. There's still my point. Not lose that. Yeah, look, check this out. So once you take this bracket out, right, there's 4 screws here to remove the bracket. It's in this orientation. You can take it out, rotate it into this orientation, but you need to consider that with this, like, you know how there's like, this has got to slide into something. So then this part right here can get stuck a little bit on the motherboard because it's behind it. It's not something where it's like on front of it like this, right? It's a little bit behind it. So you can kind of get stuck on the motherboard side if you do try to change this out later. But I mean, if you take out like at least a couple of the screws on the one side of the motherboard, you can kind of wiggle it out. Just be a little cautious with it. I mean, you know, play it safe, just remove the motherboard, but I know that's not easy for everybody on a post installation. But also take mind too that these screws are on the inside of the case. They're not on the outside of the case, if that makes sense. So when you tab the case and you're gonna go from this way, as far as, you know, your normal, and you're gonna go vertical with it like this, those screws you're gonna have to get a tool to then loosen those out. You might wanna kind of find your placement, remove those ahead of time. But the other thing that makes this critical, switching back, the other thing that makes this critical is that if you put this bad boy back in here, like it is, to mount it, and you're gonna wanna try to get to these screws, this fan that's going right here can definitely get in the way as far as getting access to those screws. So we're gonna likely put this fan in last for the build once we actually get the graphics card installed. So it's a little bit different SOP than I guess I would say I do on a lot of other builds, but just to also show you guys, if you're gonna go this route and everything, save yourself a little bit of headache with it by putting this fan in last, more or less, where normally with us, with the way we do builds, graphic cards more or less the last piece that goes in the case, right? Besides panels and, you know, all that other stuff, right? So definitely take note of that. It'll help make a difference, I think, for your installation. Make stuff a little bit quicker, a little easier, a little less stressful. Those things are important because if you're building a new PC, or even if you're upgrading everything, there's always that uncertainty to hope that that first power button push is going to be just the same or work from all your new stuff that you got. You know what I mean? So yeah, so basically rotate the bracket if that's what your plan is already. You already got your riser cable. That's the plan that you have. I'd rotate this first, get it out of the way. It's done diddy. And then I guess the only other thing that you could really, because a lot of people like say for example too, you don't have the motherboard just yet, but you got the graphics card. Maybe you got the riser cable, you got the case. You don't have the motherboard yet. I don't know. I would say sometimes people get the graphics card first. Sometimes people get the graphics card last. I mean, you kind of have different options there with it, right? And I'm honestly not sure which way I'm going to go with this right now. I mean, I'm assuming I could definitely go vertical with it. My concern with the vertical versus the standard, and more or less what's going to make my decision as far as which orientation I want to put my graphics card in, is going to be based on this guy. And that is going to be this glorious Minecube right here. Now, this is our new Minecube AIO. This is basically just the screen top. This thing mounts into the pump housing, of course, for that. But you know what I mean? This bad boy's not back here. It's out here a little bit. But the concern is the up and down, the height clearance. We did a similar build like this with these parts in the View 290. And one of the things that we were taking note is that with the card, you know, as far as it being in the system, this bad boy was literally like right here. And we're talking, it was overlapping. It wasn't something like where it's back there. It does go over, but it got pretty close to the graphics card as far as installation. And if we want to go vertical with that, we need to consider to take in mind what our cooler height is going to be and if that's going to interfere. So you can still rotate. It's not like that big of a deal, but like, I know a lot of you guys out there like myself like to kind of plan. I mean, hey, I got to plan how I'm going to do the live stream build. And then I got to think of like fun little ways to kind of bring up like, hey, this might be a little easier if you go this way versus that way first. So just a couple of things. You know, just kind of throw those out there as I'm missing screws already. Missing one screw, where to go? It's probably a magnet somewhere. It probably got stuck on a magnet or, oh, no, the spider took it underneath the Lazy Susan. It was the spider. Oh, tightening is important. But yeah, like if I'm going to go this route, I mean, something like this, I have a pretty long extension. I got a nice little short one too, but you know, I'm not going to be able to clear it with that or like a standard screwdriver. So those kind of things, keep in mind, maybe help you out, especially if you don't have that tool already. Just a couple of things to consider, or just better yet, just take these out before you put it back in. So you got options. You got options there, and you can go either way with it. I think once we get a good part of the build done next week, we'll be talking about that more, talk about clearances, and see what really kind of makes or breaks the difference based on which way you want to go. Because I think those kind of things are hard to judge. And you're not necessarily, you're like, dude, I don't know how far that cooler's going to stick out or what my clearance is here. Like anybody talks about that kind of a clearance with your case design on websites, with any manufacturer, right? So those kind of things, you know, are some little forbidden little gray areas, right? Little gray areas. So we try to think about those. We try to think about those to make stuff easier. So then that kind of brings up, so what do we put in first? What is something that's going to go into the case that's really more or less not going to get in the way of anything else? Well, easy one for you, power supply. So let's do that first. Because the power supply, for the most part, going down here on the bottom, I mean, I can route my Gen 5 right here or not. I just let it sit here in the back until I need it later. I mean, it's not really a big deal. This isn't going to really necessarily get in the way. I'll plug everything in that I'm going to need for my build already, because I got plenty of room back here for that. You know what I mean? Got plenty of room, and I like that. I want that. You know what I mean? We'll go ahead and I'll route these cables up here just a wee bit, so that way you guys have viewing angles of the view. You can view the view. You know what I'm saying? Grits from Munich, Thermaltake Live. Hey, what's up, man? Thank you so much. Is it? I'm trying to think. No, because it's the afternoon here for us. So, I mean, I'd say guten Tag, but I don't know what time it is. Guten Tag. But yeah, like power supply. Oh, there's like a little. This little guy come up. Oh no. This was from this is from the other one. Okay. Hold on. I have a smudge on my white power supply. Even though you won't see it, I will know it's there. Like a little sticker. Where does sticker come from? All right. So power supplies. You do got like two different options. What the? Maybe it got stuck. The record player got stuck on that one or something. Guten Tag, 99 balloons. So with the power supply, you can mount it fan facing up, or you can mount it fan facing down. Whenever I have a case that has not just filtration here on the bottom, but ventilation for it, I always usually opt for mounting the power supply fan facing down, because with a power supply, this is an intake, not necessarily an exhaust. So that way, if this is pulling in air, it's going out the back, and then it's getting that cool air in from the bottom of the case. I mean, people talk about, oh yeah, isolate, blah, blah. I mean, these bad boys don't get too hot, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, probably one of the biggest reasons why I like to mount my power supply fan facing down is that the majority of us now are using some form of liquid type of cooling. If it's DIY or AIOs, stuff like that, you can have a scenario no matter how good you think you are. It could still be a manufacturer issue or whatever it could be, right? Things can happen. So with that, I want to make sure that my power supply is not going to have a nice drink if that does occur. And by basically having my power supply facing down, because I have the ventilation, because the case can do this, this is your best way to go for safety reasons, not just necessarily worrying about the heat. I guess not really too worried about my power supply getting hot. My power supply doesn't necessarily get hot, I guess, either, but you know, it's got a fan on it. Last thing I want is liquid, any kind of liquid pouring down in here. If it's from my own personal negligence to a product component failure, play it safe, right? So putting something like that, real easy to clean off, likely will still work and have not too many issues if the unfortunate does happen. So we just kind of like to, you know, play it the right way, the safe way, especially with our power. And then of course with power too, you need to consider, you know, what type of connections you have or what you need as far as what graphics card you're going with, motherboard configuration, and so on and so forth. I mean, this right here is a 1050 watt snow power supply. So it's an ATX 3.1, 5.1. So it has the latest Gen 5 connector. This one doesn't have the cool little matcha color on it because that didn't come out until later, but still it's a nice native connector. I've used this in several builds, this exact unit. So I've been pretty confident about it. I haven't had too many issues. But making sure that you have all the necessary connections you need, how many SATAs you need, you know, your 24 pin, your EPS, so on. Just plug all that stuff in. We'll go ahead and we'll get our power supply mounted in here. And the case does come with the screws for it, but your power supply likely will come with them as well. I guess the only real thing that would make a difference with the power supply, at least with this case, is that we do include silver or chrome screws for the power supply, where most likely your power supply, unless you get it from us, and you get a white power supply, we include white screws in there for the power supply as well. So you can get that with a case and just make sure that these all stay nice and chrome on the outside. If you want to throw some black ones in there, do that too. It's your screw your way. Absolutely. Your screw your way. Haven't popped in for a while, even though it's 1 a.m. Ooh, burning that midnight oil, man. I can relate. I'm usually up pretty late myself and everything. But hope you had a good Wednesday, because I'm assuming it's now Thursday. But hope you had a good Wednesday. But you got Thursday coming right up. Weekend's even closer for you, my friend. Weekend's even closer. We're all jealous now. Dude, where did the last screw go? Maybe we'll just pretend I put it in. Worry about it. Worry about that part later. We got to keep moving forward. No, I probably have it back there. I just don't want to, I just don't want to dig it out. All right. So cables and everything, especially with going with a backwards connector motherboard. I mean, this stuff's going to literally plug in right here. I think the biggest pro con to having a backwards connector motherboard is where you felt like you didn't have enough cables. Now you have too much. So you might need to get some folding skills going on here with a couple extra zip ties to kind of shrink that length down a little bit, because it's going to be so straightforward. You don't even know what to do with yourself. You're gonna be like, dude, I can just plug it in back here. Like I don't have to route it up through the front. I don't have to worry about forgetting to plug my EPS in up here because I already mounted my AIO on top and I can't even get my finger in there to plug it in. It just plugs it on the back. There are some quality of life improvements that come along with it that you didn't really know you had until you realize, you go, oh, that's neat. Let's just kind of just gently.
What day is it, Mike?
Gently tuck the cables inside. Gently. Arnie 14 coming in with a 5-stream streak, climbing back up. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And Mr. Blue coming at you with that 7-stream streak. Thank you so much if I didn't mention that. And I think I got Berg the Beezer with the 30, but if I didn't, Cheers to all you guys. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate the follows, you guys. Appreciate the stream streaking. We're going streaking. I need to literally make an alert for that.
H2O.
Ugh. AI has gotten quite interesting. I watched Steve's video that he had on his other channel, you know, the Gamers Nexus, that Jesus guy. His other video where somebody made an AI video that sounds just like him is really scary to see how well it was, like how the articulation of mimicking him was quite interesting. You know what I mean? And it's like with the amount of videos, live streams, and content that I've done for Thermaltake, I could almost see something like that happening just to me at the same time. Granted, I'm not as popular. I don't think that would ever happen because I'm nobody, but still, like, the fact that somebody was able to do it that good already really kind of makes you think about what's going to happen in the next few years and how a lot of that AI copyright stuff's going to go down, right? So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, putting that white power supply in the back. The only other real big difference on which way you go is going to be which side your connector for the power supply is going to be. Because if you flip it around the other way, this guy is going to go from here to over here. So it's over there on that side. Don't really think that's going to matter to anybody. But yeah, hey, little PSA too for you. There's a little switch on your power supply. If you go to turn your system on, because it's down here, not up here anymore, you go to turn that on. The line means on. The circle means off. A lot of times you get these, the circle will be off. You go to hit that power button, you go, oh, it doesn't turn on. Wait, let me check the connections. Just make sure you got that thing on the line option there and everything, and you're good to go, right? Some other some other power supplies will have fans. Like with us here, we have a physical switch to turn the smart fan on and off as well. So basically meaning that if you want the fan to stop when it doesn't need to, it will. And that's just turning that feature on. If you want the fan to just always run, turn it off. Basically, straightforward option. Fan's not that loud. Not really personally too worried about it, I guess. Not really too worried about it.
Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Chef Marlon just resubbed for 8 months.
Chef
I like
Marlon!
retro series.
Appreciate the 8 months, my friend. I like
We
retro
would know
series.
it's fake as soon as you ate a pancake. Monster.
Wow, you got a different angle on that one. You got me by surprise. There's a different angle on that one. I like it. I like it. Dude, the retro series was looking good. I'm loving this keyboard. I've been using this keyboard here. I've been using the retro keyboard that we've had as a sample at CES, and this thing has been amazing. This has been such a change for me because I'm used to like full keyboards, you know, numpad over here and all that stuff. Switching it down, got that. Ooh, it's really good. It's really good. I don't have any info on this just yet, but I'm testing it. It's QA QC time. Okay, I'm just giving you guys sneak peeks. I think the only downside is it does both wired Type C as well as Bluetooth and you know, like the wireless 2.5 gigs. But I don't have the module. We didn't get the module at the show, so I can't actually test the wirelessness because that is ideally what I want for the stream here for stuff that we do. Other systems, you know, and we do gameplay. Dealing with that cord and everything has been such a pain in the butt. I have the mouse. The mouse is wireless. I've been using that. It's pretty good, but it looks like we got some new series of keyboards and mice coming soonish from us here at Thermaltake, both a retro series as well as a standard snow and black edition. I've already put my 2 cents in saying I want a matcha keyboard. I want a matcha version of that, but I will be satisfied with the retro, to be fair. I will take the retro and be happy with it, but we'll see how it works out. We'll see how it works out. RAM too much? Put them on floppy. It's a lot of floppies, sir. That's a lot of floppies right there. Okay, so power supply's in. Where are we at time-wise? Waffle timer. We're getting close-ish. We're getting close-ish on the waffle time. I've been having a really fun time about it. Wow, we just hit lead time. 13:37. Matcha inside. Yeah, no, dude. I think if we did something like that, it'd be pretty crazy. I think we did something like that pretty. Now, we've been live already for over an hour, and I've put a power supply in. We're having fun today, right? We're having fun today. So now you have to really kind of think, so do I want to put the motherboard in next? Do I want to put any cooling fans in? And that really kind of comes down to you. But personally, for me, I don't really want stuff to be in my way when something's already in there. If I install the motherboard in next, I still have a good amount of room, both down here on the bottom, as well as on top to do my fans or my AIO as far as the config goes. And one of the best parts about this build and this board is that everything plugs in on the back. So you really got to just kind of consider that like, oh, dude, it's going to be easy peasy connecting everything in the back there. But like I was saying, you might have to wrangle some cables a little bit more than you're used to, because you got to come up, you got to shorten up that extra length that you needed for the old way. And now you got the new way, right? So just check over our board here and make sure everything's good to go. Get a sticker like those old Intel Inside. Oh my gosh, right? Right? Just give the nostalgia feel right there. I'd buy it. I probably would too. I like that stuff too. Like just give a little retro something, right? Just give me a little extra, right? Like a Cracker Jack box prize inside. Give me just a little extra, man. Is it that much to ask? Is it that much to ask? I feel you. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. I will definitely bring that up at the next board meeting. I'll definitely bring that up at the next board meeting. Excuse me, Kenny, sir. Yes, I have a question from the live stream. He'd be like, oh, let's hear it. Because he would. He'd be like, hey, what do they got to say? I mean, you got to be ready. You got to be ready when it comes to that guy. All right, so motherboard wise, I got my back plate already in. Thinking ahead here. And then I've already installed the RAM and the CPU. I think you guys know how RAM and CPU go in. We're not like a dad builder level. I think we're a little past that, you guys. I think we're good. I think you guys know how it goes. But let's get this backwards board in, huh? Shall we? And then maybe get to a waffle or two. A waffle or two. That's right. Our giveaway is almost wrapping up. We got like 10-ish minutes. Waffle your waffle before you miss out. Don't miss out on the waffling. You don't want to miss the waffling. It's funny. I've been playing Half Sword. Been playing Half Sword since the game came out. I've been playing Half Sword a good little bit. And I named myself. I've died, so I've had to rename my character. But a couple of character names was Lord Waffle, the Waffler, and then I think my latest one is Mr. Waffles right now. It's kind of like an eerie, scary thing. But dude, that's a brutal game. We've had a lot of fun playing the demo here on stream for sure. But dude, that game Half Sword, I've been seeing all the content creators playing it too. And it doesn't look like they're sponsored either. They're playing it because they want to. There we go. You guys can see. There we go. Yeah. Now you have to consider too, with a motherboard that has the backwards connectors, you know, placing it down, you really want to take a little more caution when slotting it through the cutouts, you know, because you don't want to damage pins, right? Something you've never thought about with a standard board versus a backwards board. So just be real careful as far as getting it in there, you know, lining up the standoffs and everything. Take mine too on the middle standoff of the 8 or 9 that you would have with the board, that this middle standoff is like a captive standoff, meaning it has like a little extra ring around the top of it where the board kind of just sits in the spot, and it kind of just sits in its little spot, kind of keeps everything together as you you know, pull all your screws in. So let's get that going. We got to catch up here a little bit. We've been talking. I don't really mind it though, to be fair.
Does Thermaltake make any RAM protection accessories? Like RAM anti-tamper cage, a metal cage that bolts over the DIMM slots, or a RAM theft detection system that rings an alarm, or RAM EMP shield? We are experiencing strong solar flares right now, so bit flips are imminent. Gotta
What?
protect the most expensive component on the motherboard.
Wait, we are experiencing solar flares. What? You know, you're gonna really care about your RAM more and more with the cost going up, right? That's great, dude. Do we make protection accessories? I've done like live builds, right? For Fry's, I've done live builds for Micro Center. I've done live builds for Best Buy, and these kind of things come up, right? Like they want dummy CPUs, so they don't want a CPU in there, but they want us to jump to 12 volt so that way everything turns on and it looks like it works without having to pay the cost of having a CPU in there. So we've done stuff like that with a bare board, no CPU, jump in the 12 just to get everything to light up, right? But the problem with that is a lot of that software stuff, you had to have that OS. It really kind of screwed with people, but we found some cool little workarounds with some just basic USB controllers that didn't necessarily have software functionality, but if you can understand for setting up a store demo and everything, we did that. But it's funny you bring up RAM. What did you call it? You brought a metal cage that bolts to the DIMM slots. I mean, I remember we talked about this with the fans, where we were worried that if a customer was looking at a build that was done, right? Because the fans are spinning and it lights, it gives the RGB and everything, but it was a dummy build, right? But we were worried about some little kid sticking their finger in the fan going, "Mommy, look at this one. I want this one." And go, "Ah!" So we thought about, putting those like cages, and we ended up putting cages on all the fans because of that, because we're like, hey, we don't want this liability. And the company's like, yeah, me neither. So we ended up having to put cages on fans, but not RAM. I would say more or less with RAM, it's a little bit easier when it comes to that, because I don't need the RAM to jump to 12 volt. I mean, yeah, it's cool that it lights up and all that stuff, but their dummy sticks exist. So I just troll somebody and put a dummy stick in there. So if they did think that stealing was a good idea, they're just gonna steal a dummy stick of RAM and just call it that way. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you could literally troll your friends too. I mean, does Gigabyte still make the dummy RAM kits that they did back in the day? I don't know if they did that for DDR5, but I remember that little era, and I'm really surprised this hasn't come back either, because there was that situation where you'd have the two sticks, but you wanted to have four, so you had four and it looked cool, right? Yeah. Oh, it's fully, that Reddit post, it's got to look good. So then they made those dummy sticks where you'd put the real RAM in, and then you'd have two sticks that were dummy, but they lit up, but it looked like you had more, even though you didn't. It was literally a product. Dummy RAM. How much has dummy RAM gone up in price? Do we dare ask? I don't know if you guys remember that or saw that. I honestly don't know if they're even doing it anymore. I haven't thought about that for a minute. I got them all right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're in there. We are in there. Boy, it's looking good, too. Looking good. Sugar, baby. Oh, getting a little heavy. They're about $30. I could you imagine people trying to troll people on eBay or something like that with dummy RAM? Buy one stick, 3 dummies. You tell everybody it's got 64 gigs when it has 8. We have moved away from dummy RAM to RAM being dummy expensive. I'll drink that. The dummy RAM kits have shot up in price too? You've got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me, dude. There's no way. How? Because what are they going to say? Are they going to say that there's chips inside? There's chips inside there and it's being affected the same way? Are you serious right now? Let's see. Dummy.
Let's not say dummy stick. It reminds Chippy that he has a peg leg like a freaking pirate. Monster.
Yar. Thermaltake does not make dummy ram sticks, just FYI. If you see somebody trying to sell one of those, please just don't. Just don't. So let's see, V color. What do we got here? Speed booster. Okay. Oh, look, it's not in stock. Wait. I want to know if the dummy stick. Could you imagine thinking that you got the RAM and you didn't realize that you bought the dummy version? Because I would assume that's the only thing still in stock. Oh, so this comes together. So you buy real and get fake with it. So that's how they're okay. So they're not just selling it separately. No physical memory. $40. Everybody's like, oh my God, what a deal. These really exist? Yeah, I'm looking, Rob. I'm looking right now. $40. All right. Light up your PC with this fake memory. Match your DRAM. Matches the look and feel of your existing blah, blah, blah. Oh my God. The poor man that had to write this. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's go to the official Thermaltake website. Camel.com. Have you heard of camel.com? You should. You should know about this. This is an amazing website. So we'll put the ASIN in. Let's put the ASIN in here for this bad boy. Okay. So to be fair, it's at a price drop. Look at this. It used to be. So, okay. All right. Let's look at this rationally, right? We start from the beginning, about $37 for the kit, right? This makes it look huge, but this from here to here is $5. It's not even $5. It's $3. This is a $3 difference with this chart. But still, it's saying right now it's a $34.99, and it's currently $40.28. And this is, let me see, shippers Amazon. Do you guys know about this stuff too when you scroll down here to the bottom? Wait. Where is it? Sold and shipped by. Sold and shipped by is what you need to look for. Are they hiding this now? Where'd they put it? I'll see more. No? See less? Shipper, seller, Amazon. Okay, so if that said like a different company, it'd be like third party, you know what I mean? But like still, dude, like $40 for fake RAM. I mean, at least it's not $400, am I right? But holy wowzers, man. Don't let that get into you. Was it, who else is doing? Is somebody else doing that? Let's see, $600. Well, I'm like, what is? Change that up. This is real. Okay, these all look real. At least, God, I hope they're real. At least I hope they're real. Oh man. All right. Okay. Let's see. Did our waffle has ended? Let's do this really quick. Hold on. Let's turn it back on for a couple of seconds. So if you didn't get in, now is your last chance. The last of the last of chances. First time chatter, Brutal says, my son bought me a Vista R66, works well to stream with, a capture card for my PS5, but it doesn't seem Wait, why does it keep scrolling? Stop moving. But doesn't seem to have enough power to play Warzone and stream from the PC. What pre-built would everyone suggest? Okay. Okay. So a lot of times when you look at like streaming versus gameplay, right? Like for me, when I have a dual PC setup, ideally, because when you have your stream PC can be something with like a low end graphics card, pretty decent CPU, but you really don't need too much there on the CPU side of things, you know, unless you're doing some pretty excessive stuff. But for the most part, low key system for stream is good. And then you use your main system for that. When you start streaming and gaming at the same time, your encoder on your graphics card eats up your graphics card. So then that's when you start having like, you know, FPS issues and stuff like that, because you got to look at like, let me see if I can show you an example. Like, hold on, where is, so like, I might have to let this run for a second here. Oh, I was looking at the onboard. Okay, so when you look at like something like this, okay, maybe that's a little too big. Hold on.
Waffles, tasty waffles with lots of syrup.
So like take a look at, so here's like in Task Manager, right? So in Task Manager, I have a 4090 in here, so pretty beefy card. But it's, you know, it's just something I had on the shelf. But like this is my 3D up here, and this is my video encoder down here because I'm streaming on this system. So you see my video encode's pulling 32%, GPU 3D is pulling 20%. So look at this value and utilize this to find out what's going on and see if that might be something where a secondary system might be something to consider with something like that. But
60% of the time it works.
But no, if you want to know how, and you want something to like give you an idea as far as what to look at it this way. Because I remember back, if you guys remember my previous stream system, I was having a weird encoder issue, and this thing was at 100% down here, and it was literally like not even allowing me to do this because I'm not gaming, right? We're here, we have cameras plugged in, you know, we're hanging out, we got some music playing, you know what I mean? But we're not gaming on it, right? So take a peek at this. Watch your dedicated GPU memory too. Maybe something like that will help you out. With the 4090, you should have 2 video encodes. You have a video encode and a video decode. So there is stuff like that depending on if you're receiving or outputting, I guess. So, you know, like editing, you know, stuff like that and everything. But this will at least give you something to like have an understanding. Trying to answer the question, you know what I mean? But a pre-built would help, but it kind of really depends on like what you need. If your system is great with gameplay now, utilize that as a gaming PC and just get a more inexpensive system for the streaming, and it'll change everything. But you got to play with sound. There's a couple other fun things that are all involved with there too. So some other stuff to look at and everything, but hopefully that gives you some stuff, right? All right, we got to get to Waffle in. We got to get to Waffle in here. It is the Waffle time. All hail the Waffle. Are we ready? Is everybody in? Oh, Young Breezy, last minute waffler. Last minute waffler. Come on, guys. We need to close the doors. Okay? People are hungry. We need
What
to close
will you
the
do
doors.
if the price of waffles skyrockets? Hold on to your frozen ones like stocks?
Waffles, tasty waffles.
I'd be at that
with lots of
Costco
syrup.
buying up the toilet paper. I mean, being at the Costco buying up all the waffles like it's toilet paper. It'd be gone, son. A waffle shortage? How dare you mention that? No, don't do that to me. All right, we in? Chef Marlon, thanks for the thirsty camel. I know, I was thirsty. Are we in? We good? All right, closing. And 3, 2, type faster. 1. All right. Kitchen's closed. Kitchen is closed. I'm hungry too. Absolutely. All right.
You're drinking the wrong water. Gatorade. H2O.
H2O.
Gatorade.
C1000 coolant. I need to look into Costco membership. They say they have Chipotle chicken ready to use for making burrito bowls. What's up with the Costco chicken lately, right? Like they talking about that $5 Costco chicken. What about the $5 Sam's Club chicken? Is that one just fine and the Costco one's tainted? Like what's going on there? You know what I mean? People just give me that chicken. I see it at Costco and Sam's Club. I don't know if you guys have Sam's Club, but it's like a Costco. It's just like a different brand. I kind of like Sam's Club better. Actually, I like Sam's Club more because I think the people at Costco are just, they're people from Costco, man. Hey, we're Costco guys. But I do like Sam's Club because of the scan and go. Because like you don't have to wait in line. Everything goes in the cart one time and you just scan it as you go and you pay for it on your phone. And it's like you used to show them a QR code, right? And then they would, they check, make sure you're not stealing. But now they have like one of those big like scanner things over like that whole failed Amazon Fresh thing that happened where they just closing all that stuff down. But it's like it scans everything for you. And you don't even have to give them anything anymore. It's kind of crazy. It's like, all right, so I'm good, right? I'm good, right? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. I had Sam's Roto for lunch. Nice. Mega Walmart. Huh, interesting. Sam's is owned by Walmart? Really? Walmart owns... No. Does Walmart own Sam's Club? Sorry, Wafflers. We have to check very important information right now. Yep. Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know... No wonder Amazon Fresh went to pieces. Sam's Club is owned by Walmart. Walmart founded Sam's Club back in 1983. Wow. But why does Sam's Club not sell Walmart stuff? That's interesting. I honestly never thought to look. You learn something new every day. You learn something new every day. All right, we ready? Are we ready? We ready to do this? We ready to do this? Is it that time? The kitchen smells like it's ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's go. Oh, missed the button. All right.
Waffle Man, I am the Waffler. Golden crispy. Bad guys are history. Yeah.
I need a double plate of waffles. All right. A lot of wafflers today, you guys. Look at you guys waffling. I'm taking a break. You paused your game to be here. I love you, my friend. Thank you so much for pausing your game to be here for a waffle. I can't believe it. Let's go.
What's up?
Yeah, you better tell him you hear your name. You better honk that horn and pull over.
Who's that? Yo, pick up the phone.
What's that?
What's up?
All right. All right. All right, first winner up. 3, 2, 1, go. That JK over on Twitch. That JK, congratulations. Holy. Let's go. Dedicated Waffler. He says spin it. He's gonna win it. Let's go. Come on, baby. Big prize. Big prize. Come on, baby. Wow. Congratulations on winning your choice of our Thermaltake gear. We got a variety of stuff. Hold on, let me turn this down. Hold on, let me turn this down. We got a variety of stuff here. Thermaltake gear here. Mouse, keyboard, a lot of stuff. So I don't have the new retro keyboard available, but it'll be there soon. But yeah, take a look at that. It's your prize, your way, man. Congratulations, and thanks for waffling with us. But yeah, little close. All right. Who's coming with me? Who's going to join him? Who's going to join him? All right. Let me think about this. All right. How many? Oh, we got a good amount of over 300 entries today. That's a good amount of waffles, guys. Over 300 waffles. But think about this. It's not 3,000 waffles. It's not 30,000 waffles. It's only 300. You guys are my tight-knit group of wafflers, and we love giving back to you. So just want to say that from all of us here at Thermaltake. We love you guys. Thanks for waffling with us. If it was over 9,000, I think you guys would get upset. You guys would be like, I've never won. We need a waffle stat. All right, there you go. 1, 2, 3, go. Mad Admiral. We got back-to-back Twitch winners. Mad Admiral. Congratulations, sir. Yes, sir. He says
300 wafflers holding off the pancake hordes.
Come on, baby. Nice, dude. Scoring your choice of a Thermaltake AIO. That, my friend, is a big package. Congratulations, Mad Admiral. Thank you for waffling with us. Feel free to take a look at our AIOs on thermaltakeusa.com. Same with you, JK. Also, make sure you guys send me a DM on our Discord to verify that you are a meat popsicle and not a robot, or we'll see you in Helldivers, okay? We got democracy for all you robots out there. No bots. No clankers. All right. Congratulations, guys. That's our waffle winners for today. Dude, we got through both of them before the song even ended, dude. Let's go. Did you say he has a big package? Well, it's an AIO. It's more than just OnlyFans, if you know what I mean. Well, let's go. Congrats, you guys. That's a good one. That's a good one right there. Alrighty. Oh. Oh, man. Oh, it's a good Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. Thanks for hanging out with us. We still got more to do. We ain't going anywhere right now. We're just waffling. We got more coming up. We got more stuff to do. Yeah, I'll get back to you guys later on after stream. Take a little waffle. I need a little waffle break afterwards, you know. Maybe a little nap. Take a little nap or something, you know what I mean? Run over by a tank in hell. Dude, have you tried the tank in Helldivers? Oh my God. I saw a video today of like the tank. I saw the tank shooting like the objectives. I saw it one tapping the nests, like one shotting the nests, but the reload's a little slow. But the tank one shots the frickin' nests and everything. I think the only downside for me on this is that when I think tank, I think Battlefield. That's just how I'm programmed. But when you are driving the tank, you can't shoot anything. So if you're gonna roll the tank, roll with a friend, because you're gonna want somebody in that gunner seat, because you either got to get in the gunner seat and shoot but not move, or get in the driver's seat and move but not get to shoot. Just run them all over. You know what I mean? But the only downside is, bro, is that the driver's seat's in the front and the gun seat's in the back. So at some point you have to get out to go around. You know what I mean? And those bugs do kind of take some hits on the tank, but I thought it was funny the tank doesn't have a weak spot on the back, but I was curious what they were going to do there. But they just added that randomly. You can get it right now. You don't have to buy one of the new packs. It's just in. You go to your ship upgrades. It's just in there. I think it was like 30-something thousand or whatever. When you said Battlefield, I pictured a bunch of SCAF holding torches around it. Hell yeah. And some C4 on the front. Have you played Hightail? No, I didn't. I know about the game, but I didn't get into it. Oh, what was the name of the second person? It was Lord Admiral, sir. Mad Admiral. That was number 2. And thanks, JK. Congrats again to our Waffle winners. Winner, chicken dinner. Winner. That's right. That's right. Mike, if you, wait, Minecraft. Oh, it's Minecraft, like Minecraft 2.0. Dude, I need some new games. There's definitely some other stuff. Too slow for me. Need something. All right. Like, I've been looking at games like, dude, like the Ashes of Creation stuff, right? I was interested in Ashes of Creation. I gotta get back to this build. We can talk about this at the same time. I don't care. But like, dude, the Ashes of Creation drama, wow. What the, I mean, I was into it, but I wasn't into it for $250. Or what was the alpha package? It was like $500, $250. They had all this stuff, the money. They had a Kickstarter thing and everything. Like, dude, the more I'm reading about this, and I mean, it's flooding my Twitter, flooding Twitter. Like, I'm seeing videos on YouTube, like just crazy stuff. It's really sad to see something like that happen because for me as a gamer, MMOs have always had a special place for me. And like, I really feel like I'm missing out on like an MMO today. Like there has to be somebody that can understand that you need an MMO to be difficult, not an MMO that somebody's going to grind to end game in less than a month. Let them get mad at you. Like, that's the reason why we keep playing. But yet they're just like, oh, we're sorry. Let's give you a fast track, or let's give you a subscription thing, or let's give you whatever the mystery box to open to make it a little quicker, right? Like, we need punishment. I think the only game today that focuses on punishing people is Tarkov, but they do it so well that you just want to keep coming back. I don't know. If you haven't gotten into Tarkov, that's your own thing. It's an FPS shooter, and it's very difficult, very grueling. But it's like literally probably the most craziest horror game I've ever played. Out of all the other horror games, no game scares me like a Chad coming around a corner in Tarkov. Like, that still gets me. It got me last night. Random. Got me the night before. Like, it's just, there's almost every night I play, there's like, oh, like, ah, like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know he was there. So it's like stuff like that. Like, I don't get that in Battlefield. I don't get that in any other game that I play. But like MMO wise, I miss that challenge. I miss like working with people, like doing stuff, you know, like grouping up to like just zerg something down. You know what I mean? Those were the good old days. I did a lot of that. I enjoyed a lot of that, but it's just, those games are 20, 30 years old now. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, the WoW killer, the WoW, dude, boy, that is just the most hilarious stuff with them sitting there trying to go, oh, WoW killer, WoW killer. I mean, like, stop it. You know what I mean? Stop it. Just like make a game. It's not hard. I was hoping Marathon is like Tarkov by Sci-Fi. No, I don't think Marathon's gonna make it at all, man. MMOs don't do well these days, I hear. Yeah, I think a lot of it is they're trying to cater to the younger audience because they have to, right? But I think that they're missing out on a big opportunity with a lot of us gamers that have been gaming for a while that want something like this. And the funny part is we got dad money now. And no matter how simple and easy that game's gonna be, we're gonna buy some crazy ass system for it because I just want it, because I really like this game, right? And I know there are people out there for that stuff. I know there are people out there that would instantly jump in if they made like a WoW 2 or other games like just full on MMO like that, where like you can't, there's so much content, there's so much to do. You could no life it as much as you'd love to, but you're literally almost going to kill yourself with the greed you have. You know what I mean? You got to back it up a little bit. It's like patience with those games back in the day, man. People are just like, I just got to sacrifice my body. Have fun with it, man. It's not about that. Like, I hope your work ethic is this good. I hope those people's work ethic is the same way. I doubt it, but I hope it is, you know? Yeah, I think, and it's not about the social aspect either. I think it's just the coordination of things, you know what I mean? And being able to do something. But that game is a complex game. I miss games where I worried about stuff like that. Not just strength, dex, vitality, agility. You know what I mean? Like, I want other stuff. I want haste. I want magic haste. I want different hastes. I want different speeds. The one thing that I really liked was being able to switch gear based on the situation and have multiple sets of things based on what I'm doing. And then being able to interact with that and have those, it made me, you weren't buying or building one set of armor, right? You were building 4 different sets of armor for one character. And I think that's what got people into a lot of stuff. You help them out with this, help them out with that. You know what I mean? Or you go in on something just with RNG gods, like, please, please, please drop the pretty shiny. Please drop the shiny. So I feel that. I miss those things though, man. Like, you know, I've heard, what was it? The Ashes of Creation thing that's been going on. So I've heard, I guess there was like a guy that DM'd, was IGN, and basically claimed that he bought Ashes of Creation and was like saying that he was like the new owner, and then that was a fluke. Boy, IGN got owned on that one. And then I heard like that they're thinking like they're gonna possibly sell off the IP to somebody else or whatever. But then I've heard the same thing about New World. Like, I don't know, just timing wise, if it's just unique or whatever, but like, I heard that they might sell New World once it shuts down, like, because that's ending again at the end of the year. I mean, Ashes of Creation, I think, literally shut down like this week. I think people were actually surprised it worked over the weekend, but it's just sad. It's just sad. But like, I had a lot of high hopes for New World, but it's just unfortunate what happened. I don't want to talk stuff, but like, it was very unfortunate what happened. I played the game a good bit. I was pretty big into it because I thought, hey, new MMO, we can build stuff, do stuff. I like, it's not that just linear game where like, oh, hey, we log in and we play. This is like, I could log in and do whatever I wanted. You know what I mean? I guess I kind of miss those kind of things, you know? All right, so a lot of game talk today, though. It's good, though. I think there's a lot of interesting game news going on out there and everything like that, but it's just kind of interesting, you know what I mean? ThermalMike is a min-maxer confirmed. Dude, you don't even understand, man. Like, it was all about, you know, you had those buddies, you know, you're doing endgame already, and you had those buddies, and you're like, bro, I got you by 10 points. Did you have those parsers? I had those parsers, and when I would parse better than, it was always the fun talking about, like, just talking shit on each other, even though this is my best friend. I love everything he does, but I love just talking crap. I want him to talk crap on me because it makes me a better player. You know, it's just fun. It's that rhetoric. It's that shit that we miss. I miss it. They need to, I was like, dude, where'd the 4th one go? But yeah, magnets. I miss those kind of things. You know what I mean? We need more of those kind of games, but I guess they're just too hard. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't think AI is not going to help them. It's not there. It's just not there. It'll make shortcuts and make some other stuff easier. Oh yeah, waffle timer. I forgot to turn the I can't remember to turn it on. I can't remember to turn it off. I need like an alert. I need to do something. I got to figure that one out. I parse better than you. Exactly, dude. Exactly. What was your DPS on that last one, buddy? Oh, it was 100. Oh, okay, I was doing over 9,000, right? Carried. No, it's just fun times, man. It's fun times, right? Get carried, bro. But yeah, like, dude, EverQuest is still around. I mean, there are some games that have just been around forever. I mean, I never played Guild Wars 2, but like, they're still doing stuff and everything as well. I mean, something like EverQuest really goes way, way back, right? And that's still kind of going, but give me something new in that, but keep those same ideas and those mechanics. Do these companies just have patents on all of this stuff, and that's why this can't happen? I mean, you look at like what? You look at Final Fantasy and you look at World of Warcraft. Does WoW have like patents on how everything is played and the way it's done in the game? Does Final Fantasy have the same thing? They have what, 2 MMORPGs that they've done to either of those? Like, is that all patent locked where no one else can do it because they patented it? You know what I mean? It's like magnets with fans, man. Everybody should be able to have some. Ubisoft is cooked too. Oh my God, the news with Ubisoft is wild too, man. It's almost like we should have like a game section in the live stream, but you know, we can chat and build at the same time, right? We can do that. Let's see, was this card? So I mean, at least I know the spacing here, and I know this will work with the cooler on top because I built this before in this way. The one thing I'm curious on is what, and I think, to be fair, this is going to make the height a little bit easier. And then the only other thing that I'm kind of looking at too is, where is my Gen 5 connector? But the nice thing is it looks like it's over this way. It's not like right in front of my RAM, where like it would be, well, I guess it is kind of right in front of my RAM because I didn't have it. Yeah. Okay. I take that back. It's literally right in front of my RAM. But have an understanding though too, it's not going to sit on the floor. It's going to sit this much higher up. And I mean, if you guys can see, as I'm just kind of trying to hold this, but if you can see where the graphics card and the CPU is, it's a tight little space right there. So those kind of things, those gray areas are, you know, things to consider. You might not even know. You might just have to figure out, oh, I'm going to have to go this way or that way, depending on what I decide to go with in regards to the orientation with my card. I mean, like, yeah, my card can go standard or vertical because I got this case and everything, but my cooler might say otherwise and be like, hey, you're going to go this way, buddy, because you wanted that. You know what I mean? So, and I can see that as that. You're not going to find that dimension. You're not going to find that. I mean, like, the case is going to have a cooler height limitation, but that's going to be from basically the CPU to the glass. You feel me? It's not the gap between CPU and GPU. And it's stuff that we've talked about. And in the past, I would say it's not really as much of a concern. Most AIOs, even other manufacturer AIOs that are out there in the market, they don't really have like a clearance problem and everything. But then someone like us, we come up with this cube design, you know what I mean? And it's like, this changes everything. And it's like, if we're going to keep going forward with this, it's not like I can stretch the motherboard and make it longer. You know what I mean? But the good thing is that going this way more or less doesn't have a problem. And those are things that we vibe off of, right? Like when we do the design, we think about that because that's a standard. But then when you start going vertical with the card, now you're outside the boundaries of the standard because you're using a riser cable, and it's all dependable on the case as far as how that orientation goes, right? So interesting things to think about. I mean, I think of weird things because I've built so many systems, you know what I mean? Like real straightforward back here, 24 pin EPS, plugging everything in here on the back is pretty straightforward and really good for troubleshooting that initial setup because you don't have to worry about doing cable management. Just plug it all in, make sure everything works first, right? Then come back, pretty it up. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you don't polish your car and then wash it. You wash it first and then polish your car. Or at least I think that's what Rob was doing. He had some scratches, so you know what I mean? Like you don't wash the scratch and then take the scratch out. Well, I guess you could, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just like, huh? An old school MMORPG with modern quality of life and graphics is literally all they need to do. I preach it, dude. 100%, I will be there with you. We can join the same group together and go have some fun, man. Because I 100% there. Good's almost at 400K tokens. Do you want me to enable gambling so you can just do gambling for your tokens? I know you are like, I don't know if anybody has more than you. I don't know if I can check. I'd have to figure that out. I have to go look. They want to ruin the game with microtransactions. Well, of course they do. Especially overseas companies that do this stuff. If they just realize if they make something good, you're going to want to give it to them. I would tell you, I'm not a big fan of purchases in games and everything, but there are some games that hit the spot where I feel like, you know what? This game was a good price when it came out, and they've been adding content to it, not just a new skin, but new content with the game that I feel like, and there's really, I can only think of one game off the top of my head, and that's Helldivers, where I feel that $10 is just me saying thank you for an awesome game. And I've done that a few times, but then You know, you're just kind of like, some of them, I skipped a couple of them. I have a good majority of them, though, at the same time, right? And there's new ones still coming out. So how long is that model going to work? I saw even somebody like Arc Raiders, the dev team for Arc Raiders looked at Helldivers model before, because they wanted to do what? They wanted to do free. They wanted to make the game free to play, and then decided not to. Like, a lot of interesting things, right? A lot of interesting things. Dude, somebody faking, what is it? Somebody put a fake post up saying Arc Raiders is going to make a PvE only version, and he got roasted because he put not like this big with everything else there, and everybody read what they wanted to read. And that's kind of, I guess, the internet today, right? That's kind of the internet today. Okay, so we got some connections, we got some cables. I need to get this stuff out of the way. But I'm having fun. I'm having a good time talking today. Laugh Out Gambling is how I got back under 400K. Yeah, I can understand that. And I'm sorry I don't have more to go along with that. I don't want to do too much, you know what I mean? But it's also not something that I can do. I remember like some other people were what was it? They were utilizing their points to get product and some other stuff. But I don't know if that's right, because that was something I was thinking about, and I thought about that, and I went like, dude, if you got points from watching a stream or participating or just gambling in general, right? Like, you gamble it all and then you win a little bit and then you do it again and you build it up, but then you could utilize that to actually get something. I thought that was against Twitch's toss. I really did. You know what I mean? Like, we try not to do things that would do that. You know what I mean? I don't like the unfairness. I want everybody to have a fair and equal chance. I can't really stop the subscription stuff. I mean, that is a given, but I have to give people at least a little something for it. You know what I mean? But that's a tough cookie right there. You know what I mean? But I guess it's different. I don't know, like company wise or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Because again, this isn't me. It's Thermaltake, right? I just work here. I gotta follow my rules. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what I mean? But we good. We really good. Like but it's always, sometimes I see that stuff and I go, can they really do that? Like, is that really something that they can do? So like some of that stuff kind of makes me wonder. Let's just get a couple of things plugged in here, just for funsies. I kind of want to see how a little bit of this cable stuff goes. Oh, now they're both the same color. I can't tell which one's which. Is it weird that the HD audio is the same length as the front panel? You would think the HD audio, I mean, okay, I take it back. It is a little bit longer. Okay, it's not the same length. I take that back, but like, really? That's it? No comment. No comment. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. Don't you say it either. Don't you say it either. Size matters. Front panel. Okay. We'll sneak this guy onto the underside there. But yeah, dude, I hope everybody's having a good day. Happy Waffle Wednesday, man. Appreciate you guys just hanging out. Hope I'm breaking up your week for you. Talking about some fun stuff, building some fun stuff, giving out some fun stuff, all that fun stuff. Yeah, because that's just going to be like all just kind of sticking out and hanging out. Because I got to figure out like, too, like when I'm looking at this, like front panel stuff versus power stuff, do I want it to go over or do I want to tuck it under and then kind of like wrap it? So that's where like a lot of times for things like this, I'd rather just plug it in, make sure it's good, and then think about that later. Because I think sometimes when I'm like doing, especially with like, because we have the fans over here that need a controller too. So with the controller fan and everything, that kind of, you know, changes some stuff up. The EPS, I got, because I have to have Molex for that. EPS is right here. But dude, this is so legit on how this just plugs into the back. Like, bro, I
Mike,
think,
should I delete my 9850X3D? I did it for 7900X3D and I don't know if I want the headache again.
I'm trying to think if did I good, did I see a video? I'm trying to remember if I saw a video yet on 9950X3D as far as the delid process and a change. But I think that was the 9800X3D. It wasn't the 50 because the 50 just came out. Should you do it? Personally, what I would do is run the CPU first, make sure the CPU works, and like run it for a month. Maybe get some like references on temperature as far as like where you're at, and make the decision based on the difference that you had with the 79. Because that's kind of like what I did back in the day. Like I went on like this weird delidding, binning type of stuff. And this was like 8700Ks, 99Ks. Of course, 99K was the soldering process, right? So you got to deal with that. But there's better ways to take the solder off too now. Way better stuff that you can do. So look into those kind of options if that's something you want to consider. Because like it's a lot easier to do than just getting a piece of dental floss and trying to slide it. You know what I mean? You can literally buy those heat plates for cheap now. Just heat the thing up and it just literally almost falls off. But as you know as well as I do, the solder cleanup process is a pain in the butt. But I'd personally give the CPU a chance. See what you get with the CPU, with the stock IHS first. I definitely say give it a chance, see where it's at. I mean, I haven't seen reports of it getting too hot, but at the same time, you kind of have to see what's going on too. And you had to use a Dremel on the, dude, you had to use a Dremel on the direct die. I read direct die and Dremel. I didn't see frame. Okay. I would suggest looking at, I mean, if you want to do direct die frame and everything, I mean, you do kind of put yourself in a little bit of that. How much is it worth it to you for what you feel you're going to gain from it? I don't know if you necessarily need to do it on that chip, but your chip your way. You know what I mean? Your solder your way. You take all that stuff, clean it all up. I mean, at least I know you can do one. And yeah, Drebauer makes one. I'm expecting to see him do a video on the 9850 X3D and do like a delidding thing. Because, I mean, he's one of the few that's actually selling them, I guess. I mean, I honestly don't see too much out there. And what I do see is probably not moving at all. But, like, for the stuff that's out there, I think I'd wait to see if he's going to do a video. I'm assuming he's going to have a video soon. He should, based on what he's doing. But maybe there's a reason why it hasn't been like already versus not already. You know what I mean? I know a couple, you know, they've done some reviews up already of the 9850X. So take a look at that. I don't know if you have it already. You know what I'm saying? But that sounds spicy. And I'm kind of curious to know like where you're at with temp-wise and stuff like that. Definitely curious on that. All right. All right, let's try to do something else before we go. Let's just try to do something else in 2 hours. Oh, you have it already? Nice, dude. Nice. And I mean, I'm assuming, are you going to get new chipset or are you just okay, you're going to just use the X870E? Okay. Yeah, 2 DIMM slot, dude, like, I don't even know why I would need a 4 DIMM slot motherboard right now. Almost every motherboard on the planet's not going to do 4 sticks. And if they do, it's going to be on like JEDEC spec or under 4800. You might get away with 56 with 4 sticks. It's been really annoying. Look at the compatibility list on the motherboard before you buy it, man. $1,000 motherboard, can't do 4 sticks. What? WTF, right? WTF. Okay, on the real though. Let's think about this. So we have options. Oh, baby, do we have options? And I do like how I can just boop, boop. All right, so oh, that one's intake. These ones are both exhaust. So let's get intake fans. Oh, no, that's exhaust too. Where are my intakes? I mixed them up. in the franticness of getting ready for stream. All right, so 3 fans. These guys in an intake orientation, right? So something like this, we can throw right here. We have the option to do 3 120 fans here on the bottom or on top of the power cover. One thing to consider with this is that if we do go vertical with the graphics card, right? So there's going to be in the accessories. Let me get these bad boys out of here. Hot for teacher? Oh no, Moby Dick. Okay, it's the end of Moby Dick. I can barely hear it, but I was like, "Oh, Hot for Teachers intro? What?" Actually, now I just. There, let me show you. Let me show you. Let's plan this. I think you could be able to get a better look at it this way. So here is the floor of the case, right? You can see all the little points here, like fan, you know how it's kind of going over there, but you're going to notice there is some additional ones up here too, as well as some offsets. So the case is going to come with 2 of these standoffs for your riser cable. Now, you can do this a couple of different ways. I mean, more or less, you have to secure the standoff into the case first, and then the riser cable basically mounts on it like this. It works perfectly fine. I have not seen issues with this, like stability-wise. I mean, it still secures to the back of the case naturally, so I'm not worried about like the weight of something like this where it needs like a crazy bracket. But you have some options here with the way this is going to mount. Like one thing that you look at as far as how this sets up is you have some options. Now I'm looking at this and there's multiple screw holes. There's one here, one here, one here. And then of course you got these down here, right? Now these are going to be more or less mocked up for fans. But as you see with the fan, it's not like this bad boy's fitting in between, and it's definitely not like the riser cable is going to sit above it. So you're going to have to lose this fan. But then when you're losing that fan, you also are going to run into this one. So look at the bracket, and let me just make sure, because I think that's the actual fan one. Hold on. Or is that? No, see, that is the one for the riser cable. So then the riser cable, with the way the fan's going to go, that's going to be in the way there for the second fan. So that really only kind of gives you a single fan option here in the front if you go with the riser cable. Yeah, you can probably sneak a second one in. I mean, no BS or anything, like just straight up, like I would literally screw this fan in and try to see if I could sneak this other fan in kind of here, but just not even screw it in. Just let the magnet connect it and just use this one as like a baseline. But I can also see here with this, it's not going to clear for that screw for where this is at. So you could kind of literally sit them there to get the 2, but that's really not practical, right? Because the case isn't designed for that. But you have to understand as well that you're going to have some give and take if you want to go vertical versus mounting the card in traditionally, because it is definitely nice to have your 3 fans here on the bottom intaking in and literally coming right in contact with your graphics card, because it's literally going to sit like right there. And that's some nice air. You have your pass through here on this side for the cooler, so a lot of that stuff goes up and out. You got heat rising, makes a lot of sense. So depending on orientation as far as like what you want to do, those are some things that you're going to have to think about. Now my card might not be getting too hot, I'm not going to be too worried about it, but you know, the other thing I consider as well with this is that this spacing, as far as putting my graphics card back this far, oh, sorry, let me get the angle up here. But like, if you look at like this, where this is, I mean, yeah, it's going to work. It's going to be a little tight being that far back, but you also have one other option. At least I believe you have this option. Let me, let's see what the manual says real quick, because I think this is a different, that's a different thread. That's a different thread. Let's take a look real quick. Let's take a little look real quick. And that's why this stuff's important, right? So we'll come over here. Let's go to the manual. Let's look at the manual here. So, Velcro 1 meter cable management. Nice. So yeah, this gives a nice little breakdown of all the stuff with the case, you know? Coming in with this. Sorry, I have to tell you, but the waffles about the, oh yeah. Whoops. Sorry about that. We waffled already. Sorry. I try not to do the waffle like at the end. I don't want to like make you guys all like wait, you know what I mean? But we do it later on in the stream, I guess. Okay, so VGA card installation, right? So traditionally VGA card install, you know, normal stuff. If you do want to rotate the case and do something over here, you have the option to rotate the back, and then you have the mounting. But like, as you can see, and this is the thing that I kind of get on them about, is that even if I zoom in, right? Like as I zoom in, I can see these little screws right here. I can see the stand up. I see the little line, right? I see the line. But like, as far as where this is going, like it would have been nice for them to dedicate those kind of like going, all right, it's only this. Because I've seen it too, where we've done cases to give multiple mounts based on card thickness, not just go all the way to the back to maximize it and just do one and done, right? So when I look at a case like this, I just compare, look at the fan specs, but like on the case here, I can see how this would it's just not as clear as I would want it to be, you know, as far as like knowing that where these go. And I could see where people could be like, well, wait, how do I this or that? But if there's any takeaway to this, these standoffs, as far as the thread, is a little bit of a thicker thread than what is for like a fan screw. So with that, I can't really, I mean, see, I'm going to probably strip that if I do that. But the hole being a little bit smaller for the fan kind of gives you a little bit better of an understanding, hence why that one looks all kind of like crooked and stuff. But if I put it into the actual dedicated spot, and I mean, dude, to be fair, I mean, you can see how there's like a white, because I mean, they didn't put a bunch of holes around it because they need some bracing. So those areas where like the riser cable would go, kind of look, you can kind of tell them a little bit more, because you got that little bit of like a base plate there for these ones, like especially like these ones. You can see like where these ones kind of have like maybe one extra hole, but then like these other ones right here have probably, it's like Minesweeper, right? Like there's literally, oh gosh, I don't know if you can see a little bit better. Oh, I hit the camera, sorry. But like you see right there how it's not just perforated uniformly across. It's got a little bit of bracing there just to kind of help support a little bit of that weight. But I mean, to be honest, I haven't seen like that problem, you know? But like if I put my standoffs into here, because you know, we're planning now, right? First fan, we line it up. It's gonna go something like that. Let's get a screw in. Context. Just to kind of hold it in place, right? Like we get that in there like that. Now we want to try to see with the magic of magnets. But like, you know what I mean? Like, see, that's going to already kind of twist it a little bit. Kind of get it squared up like that. See what I mean? See how like the standoff's going to interfere. And I mean, you know, with that too, you're going to have this PCB like this right here. So it does really kind of limit you down to one fan. So you may not want to go vertical with this case as a first choice. I mean, it's an option here with that. Yeah, you'll lose a little bit of cooling. Is it going to be groundbreaking detrimental that you go vertical? No, I don't think so. But some people might prefer to have the 3 fans here for intake, where with the rest of the case, you know, as you're looking at the case itself, I mean, there's a lot of glass here on the side. Yes, you have the fans over here. Like, you can get creative with this stuff. And I've been exploring new options, because if I want to run 3 fans here as intake on the bottom and put the card in traditionally, I have the option over here for these fans where, like, for example, the if I did like these and I throw these in here like so, bottom fan intake, top 2 fans exhaust. Because what this is going to do is I don't want this intake fan here fighting with this as an exhaust fan here. But if I make this an intake fan, I'm getting air going like this. And it's coming in and it's coming in. And with those extra fans, I get some good airflow coming in. You could almost even maybe do this fan as intake as well. And then I'd make this top fan, of course, exhaust. And the only reason why I'm going to do that is because I have swappable fan blades and I can just swip and swap and flip and flop, whatever I want to do. So I'm now exploring the new little ideas as far as like what to do with some stuff. So it's kind of interesting where you would kind of be like all or nothing, intake or exhaust with that, where now I'm not necessarily buying multiple fan kits. I'm just swapping the blades out with it to kind of give me some, because I'm not going to do intake on the top, right? I do exhaust across the top, maybe exhaust on the top fan, but then these other 2 fans are intake right here, giving me that extra airflow coming in here, as well as here on the bottom to kind of bring it up. And it compensates for this being a fish tank. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So like, there's some different things that you got to think about as far as like, you know, what kind of configuration you have. I mean, yeah, a lot of people will do testing with this with the glass off just to try to see like, you know, performance wise, but understand too, with the glass off the case, that fan in an intake or whatever, it's not really doing its full potential or its full job, right? You know what I mean? Bergie5 says, hey, since the holes are like up, can you put 3 fans on the bottom and then put the riser on the fan on the top way so you would have 4 fans? Well, great question. Great question. And I mean, like, if because I've tried this, but like, oh gosh, how do I can take this off. I can take this off. Let's talk about it. So could I just literally mount another fan and just mount it on the reverse or on the bottom side? Yeah, I could. Instead of using like the long screws like these that would then go in through the top, I would just use a standard fan screw. But the problem is it's threaded top down. It's not threaded bottom up. So like if I had, if I took one of these, actually, let's see. I don't think, maybe I can. Okay. So like standoff right here on the bottom, could mount the fans on the bottom, but power supplies, well, here. Let's do this. I like it. I like the thinking. Is it only one screw? I can't remember if there's a second one on this one. I think there is. Oh, that's a clip. Oh, it's on the, I forgot about it. So there's another screw for this panel, right? It's on the inside. This is probably something we should have done before. Got this far. And then there's another one behind the power supply. Okay. So the other screw for this is being blocked by the power supply that we installed, right? So sorry, I can't necessarily take that, but this is removable. It's just that there's a screw on the back inside here, and there's another one over here on the back side. The bottom's just more or less kind of clipped in, but I don't want to break it. You know what I mean? But yeah, going back to your question, since the holes all line up, can you put 3 fans on the bottom and then put the riser on the fans on the top right? So you would have like, well, 4 fans, or like, you know, not necessarily trying to do the one there, but like kind of like ghost hide them under here under the bottom. You could, but you'd be a little tight. You could get 2 fans, but not 3. All right, because the third fan, that third fan is not going to work with the power supply there, because the power supply is going to take up that height right there, but you could get a second fan, but you just have to be very cautious of your cables right here. As far as like trying to sneak 2 fans reverse, you know, intake, but through the bottom, because this is all perforated, so it would work. It's not like it's a wall. So like somebody had to get 2 fans there and then just keep this clean and then just run the riser cables. I think you could do that. And I think that'd be a fun little different way to mod or do something like that. You can't necessarily mount a fan on the bottom, but I wouldn't try stacking like intake on top of intake, thinking like push pull, like intake is gonna make or break. It's not gonna make too much of a difference, but you know, you're not gonna get your RGB and stuff like that there too. So maybe consider with some fans that you might have that are either not white or don't light up, might be a cool little option to kind of keep this nice and clean. And then you could go vertical with the graphics card. No one's gonna know because it's not gonna matter, right? Unless you put it on Reddit and people are gonna be like, hey, why didn't you put fans on the bottom? And then you'd be like, oh, well, look what I did here, you know? I mean, even if you put the screen in, it's not gonna matter. You know what I mean? But you're still kind of limited to 2 fans there on the bottom. So it's kind of a give and a take as far as which way you'd want to go with it and everything. And it's not necessarily like the fan needs to be a thinner fan or a thicker fan would work. You know, I think it's your standard like 25 mil fan, maybe even 28 mil fan would be pretty good for a lot of the. Are those standoffs longer than 25 mil drill the holes? Are the standoffs longer than 25 mil? Why do you got to, I don't have a ruler with millimeters on it. So it's about, I think it's about an inch. About an inch. About 25, yeah. Yeah. So I mean, like 3 on the floor and the GPU riser on top. I mean, you could do 2 because of the power supply. The power supply is gonna make it impossible to put the 3rd fan there. The 2nd fan might be a little close with the connectors, but I think you'll be okay. I think you'd be close enough, if that made sense, to kind of do something fun like that. And I love those ideas, because those kind of things where you're like, you know what? Just because you said it this way, but you gave me that way, I'm gonna go that way. The road less traveled. I love it. I love it. The road less traveled. So, but I mean, like ideally, you know, just trying to plan out what you're going to do with your fans. If you're going to do 2 fans, 3 fans, 1 fan, you do have some options there for your intake as far as what you're going to do. And that really is going to kind of come up to the presentation of the graphics card as far as where you want to go. I mean, one of the good things is it's not mounting the card this way where you can have issues with the heat pipes and the actual native cooling inside the case, because, you know, all those heat pipes have that liquid gas. Cards mounted in this type of orientation, that liquid falls to the bottom, kind of making the GPU or your core a little hotter, where like some of the other stuff would be pretty good. When you have in a vertical mount like this, you don't have those types of issues. Same like as if you mounted it just like this. Either way with that, but you know, you still want to have some decent airflow with the case where, you know, you're getting some good stuff. And if I went that route of doing at least 1, if not 2, on the underside there with that one, I'm kind of like vibing on that idea. And then going with the vertical mount for the card here, that still gives me an option to do 1 fan there. I do exhaust across the top, and I'd probably consider doing at least 1 intake or 2 intakes on the side, with the top one being an exhaust fan. So I'd have 3, 4, 5 exhaust fans, and then I'd have 2 or 3 plus, I'd have 2 to 3 intakes plus 1 or 2 more intakes. Wow, I tried to think about how I'm going to say that, but like, think about, you know, the different different ways that you can go about it. I mean, we're just talking about airflow and everything. The case isn't so small where airflow is not going to matter. It's going to matter a little bit, but not as much. It's a bigger case, right? Compared to like a smaller case where you literally have to go a certain way because you have to have intake and you have to have exhaust, and you literally have like 3 or 4 options only, right? So this does give you a good amount of options as far as what you'd want to do there with that. And then, you know, with the top being pretty much out of the way, I mean, like, I'm looking more at mounting the AIO and like taking this AIO here and going on top. But looking at this mounting on top with how I'm going to bring in, like, you know, if I'm going to bring my pump in like this, I don't know necessarily if I want my tubes. My tubes are going to be really close. They're already too close to the back fan. So I'm looking to have to rotate my AIO so the tubes are in the front, bringing this back in like this. And then this is one way to go with it, right? But then the other thing that I can do too is that I can also mount the AIO down in here and then have this come up, you know, something like that, and then have this more like a P3 or a Core P series experience with the AIO and then this situation. But then if I do this, I'm probably gonna go intake on all or exhaust, because I always exhaust off. I'm not gonna intake off my rad. There's no way you're gonna get me to do that. But I'm gonna exhaust off of my rad there, and then now I'm gonna have 7 exhaust fans. I'm gonna lose a little bit more of my intake fans. And you know, some fun things to kind of play around with, right? As far as looking at, you know, the whole positive pressure, negative pressure environments, how everything's kind of set up, you know, how hot's it really gonna get? It's gonna depend on your CPU with that. But we're literally talking about, like, what are we gonna do with our tubes? Like, do I want my tubes dangling in the front going this way? Do I want it blocking my back fan? Or do I want to do a side option like this and get more of, like, I guess, like a P series style open frame case with the mounting on the side over there, and then just have that cool little swoosh? And, you know, those kind of things are really up to you as far as which way you want to go with this, how this case is set up. So we'll think about it. Probably good time to take a little bit of a break on this one. I mean, we're literally just throwing the AIO in, slapping in some more fans, and just kind of talking about airflow. Maybe I'll try to come up with some scenarios where I can swap some fans out and we can go intake and exhaust. I just don't know if I'm going to have the time to do test after test on a live stream to be able to kind of give you guys like that real world, like, did that fan really matter? I mean, that might be a whole separate segment that we could get into later after we get the build done, but I definitely think we can talk about some basic airflow and at least get some ideas on, you know, where everything's sitting at, you know, in regards to the system build and everything like that. Just kind of get your brain going, thinking about different things and going, oh, hey, I have these new tools. I can go different ways now with this. It's not just considering intake and exhaust only. Well, I mean, I guess it really kind of is intake and exhaust, but like mixing and matching some of your fans to do some different stuff might be something interesting to you. And maybe you're kind of curious on the results of that. I mean, same kind of idea comes up too with some of our other fan products that we have, with the different features and settings they have on them. Just the ability to be able to pop these blades out, swap these from an exhaust to turn this into an intake. You have some really cool things to play with, and a lot of it is I've brought this up, and I know some others have too, is that just I always push these off from the backside, you know, just pop them out real simple and easy. But once they're mounted like into the AIO like this becomes a little bit more difficult. Throw this over my shoulder. This becomes a little bit more difficult to be able to grab this and pull this out. We've talked about like blade pullers and like just a way to kind of grab it. I mean, yeah, we could DIY our own little tool to do that. I get that. But it is something I've considered, like, you know, we should talk about, could we maybe kind of like a keycap puller, right? But for fans. So like something like that might be an option where now I don't have to actually take the fan off. I can kind of swap these around where I go like intake, exhaust, intake, or exhaust, intake, exhaust, and kind of see what it's doing. Granted, I kind of just exhaust off of a rad regardless. Doesn't matter what's going on. But like for case configurations and everything, that might be a cool little option too. And I think I'll be able to get away with, you know, doing some of this, because the way the fan's going to mount in here, I mean, if I have the fan in
When
like
will
this,
we get quantum intake fans that quantum tunnel cold air directly from the Antarctic?
it's cold from a glacier. It's always cold from a glacier. Thank you, Taffin. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. It's all. If the mounting holes were bigger, you could put the standoffs in with the fans and still be there. And you know, dude, to be fair, if you want to drill and make it your mod your way, go right ahead. It's just, you know what I mean? I work for the company. I try to talk about the things that matter and the things that, you know, not necessarily matter, but the way we had it set up versus showing you like a janky way to do something different that we didn't necessarily plan for. But I always do like thinking outside the box as far as what fun you can have and what different things that you can do with it if cooling is something that you're interested in. You're just kind of curious on where it can go. I mean, is it going to make or break your gameplay? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But the thing I think about, and as a long-term water cooler, it's longevity, right? Is my GPU running at 85C when gaming all the time, or is it barely hitting 60? You know, that degradation you get from your heat exchange, from graphics, CPU, a lot of those kind of things, right? That stuff adds up over time. Those hours and hours that we talk about, oh yeah, man, I got 400 hours on this game or on that game. I mean, it's just kind of what it is, man. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna be able to kind of play with stuff, but it's not gonna make or break it. You know what I mean? But I think some people out there, like myself, like to have some fun. See what kind of difference, maybe a surprise. You never know, you know what I mean? But you know, the good thing is that you do have some filtration on it. I mean, when you think about having mixed match fans for both intake and exhaust on the same plane and everything, you know, you consider like, oh man, it's gonna pull dust into my case, or it's gonna pull dust out of my case. Well, think about that with how the filters are and what that, and just don't be dirty and clean your PC more often. You know what I'm saying? Like don't think about those things first. Think about like, well, what fun can I have doing something different like that, and see what kind of results you get from it. You know, I mean, it's not difficult to swap the blade on the fan and put it back in and do another test, but it does take a little bit of time if you want to test some different things. You know what I mean? Oh, but it could be a lot of stuff. Swiffer dusters, I'm telling you. You know, it's kind of like how a lot of people would talk about using canned air is bad now. Because do you guys remember the whole canned air GPU issue, right? Like, oh, the canned air killed my graphics card. And then some people swear by vacuuming now instead of, you know, people swear by instead of vacuuming or instead of using like an air duster, they're using a vacuum now and sucking the dust. You know what I mean? Like for me personally, I'm just going to go take that bad boy out in the backyard and I'm going to take a leaf blower to it. You know, I'm going to test those fans' RPMs. You know what I mean? I mean, cautiously, you know, I'm not just being a jerk about it. You know what I mean? But like, I ain't got time for that. I mean, you can pull your blades off and clean them and wash them if you want to do that too. You know, just make sure you keep your lube on standby. You know what I mean? Spit shine. Exactly. All right, you guys. Congrats again to all of our wafflers that won today. So congratulations to you guys too. Appreciate you guys being here again for another glorious Wednesday. You guys have a good one. We'll be back next week wrapping up our View 370 build here and talking some airflow. And of course, bringing you some waffles. Waffle up with us each and every Wednesday that we're live. We'll see you guys next time. Laters.
It's hump day. Waffle up if you got the stuff. Waffle up. Mike and the dudes turn breakfast to a sport that's tough. We ain't got no pancakes.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's hump day. Waffle up if you got the stuff. Hey. I play shows in the Shea logo on the stage. Thermaltake lights up. Whole crowd in the blaze. Fans chant Mike K. Every time that I raise under the gold. Waffle to the sky like praise. Got crumbs in my beer, syrup drip on my chain. Got a lot of cool camels trying to get in my lane. I just laugh, flip better, let them taste the flame. If you roll with the herd, better know the name. Mike. It's hump day. Waffle up if you got the stuff.